come to the wedding?
No, I think not.
People are going to know about it sooner or later.
I don't care about that.
You ought to get out more. Since Warrington went to the States, you're too much on your own in this place.
I have you.
Even so.
Does that worry you? That I only have you?
You could do a lot better.
So you say.
I filled a gap for you. That's all.
You really want to believe that, don't you? Don't worry. I do not ask of you my future, and you're right about this place. I was lonely when you first came here. Emil was away at boarding school, and the people who work here, mostly gone. I was lonely. Why else would I let you stay? Perhaps one day I can go to Germany to some kind of a life. Do not fear. I know there will be no wedding for me.
Oh, kid, for heaven's sake, smile.
I'm saving the smiles till later.
That's it.
Come on, kiss the bride, man.
Now you're talking.
Oh, go on again. Twice in one day.
Right, see you next week.
Look here, what about the reception at the social club?
I can't go in the club, I'm barred.
Is he joking?
Of course he is.
Don't know why I should get a lump in my throat when I've been trying for years to get you both married off.
You were wishing Mum was here.
You too.
No good wishing her.
No.
She'd have had mixed feelings about it anyway. His choice.
I like his choice, and I think your mother would have too. Why'd you have to run him down all the time? He thought the world of you when he was a lad.
And now he thinks different.
Well, if he does, it's because of things you've said. You belittle him all the time. Why wasn't Paula here?
I'm not a keeper.
You're all but.
Been listening to gossip, Dad?
I'm not stupid, Blake. And I don't like being taken for such. So you don't have to make up any more daft reasons why you're not sleeping in your bed. That's one little game we can put an end to right now.
Still want to come with me or go with one of the others?
I'll come with you, of course.
Well, in spite of all that's been said.
You dragged it out of me. Now don't let's spoil the lad's day.
We wait here.
For how long?
Till dark.
When it is dark, what will happen?
The border's just beyond the gap in the trees up there. When it's dark, our friends will cut through the wire. Then there'll be an explosion, a diversion for the guards. We drive the car as far as we can go, then we leave it and run very fast through the gap in the wire and across the border to the west.
I shall run. Does Emil know I come, and Paula?
No.
Blake?
No, not yet.
Are they here in the trees? The men who will help us?
I hope so.
Why do they help us?
Because they believe in freedom and democracy.
What do they know of such things?
Well, they know better than any of us, those who lived without it.
I'm afraid of my freedom.
Afraid?
After so much time to live my own life. To decide. To ask myself, what shall I do?
Yes. Yes, it was like that for me when the war ended. What shall I do, I asked myself.
I was happy here when my husband was alive, before he became a prisoner. Even without my freedom. He was good to me from when we met. You don't know what it was like here after the war. Not as a woman knew it. You're lucky to be a man in the world.
Perhaps.
You are lucky. I shall run. God, I shall run.
I don't think the surplus has anything to do with Butler or Churchill, frankly. Simply an improvement in the terms of trade affecting the country.
Maybe.
Come in.
Miss Blanchard to you, Richard.
Excuse me, just a moment, please, gentlemen. Come into my study.
Service!
Peg sent you out to keep an eye on me.
No, of course not. It's a bit stuffy in there. It's the first register office wedding I've been to.
Not exactly your stamping ground, is it, eh? Working men's club. Where do you drink?
I don't much.
Homebird?
Probably. I didn't have much of a home life when I was young. Father sorted that. What with school, one thing and another.
You don't get on all that well, do you?
No, not really.
Who told you?
Ross?
Probably. Have you heard from him lately?
I had a card from New York when he first went out there.
I've heard that the bloke who's marrying Roz, he's buying Lake House, is that right?
Richard? Yes, he is.
Only your father said Paula could stay on at the flat, and she's worried.
You want me to talk to Richard?
She'd like to know where she stands.
How's Emile? Still liking school?
Yeah, thank God. It's one less thing to worry about. Your father's paying for that. He's not a bad bloke.
He can afford it.
They'll be leaving shortly.
Hey, you're on the committee round here. Can we have some service?
Well, it's a minute past opening time. I suppose I can serve you.
What do you want?
2 pints. And have one yourself.
Oh, just a half for me.
Oh, well, the night is young.
Not for you, it isn't.
Nobody could say that freedom and democracy begins at home, could they, eh?
We're going.
Oh, I'll come and wave you off.
Hey, you can pour my flaming pint first. All right, we'll wait. Always been a good waiter out here. Haven't you, lad? Remember what Mum used to say? Everything comes to him that waits.
I take it you'll wave us off from in here.
Dead right.
Well, come on then. You have a train to catch.
I'll start the car.
You can have that on me.
Good luck. It's all luck, mate.
Aye. Happen.
What a funny man you are.
Funny hard or funny peculiar?
Sir.
Oh, it might be in a bit of a mess, I'm afraid.
I knew I'd seen the face somewhere before.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have time to tidy up after the bridegroom left this morning.
Oh, the bed's made.
Oh, yes, I make my own. So does Keir. Blake's won't be made now.
You're too soft on him. Come on, you.
Sorry I can't offer you a drink.
Oh, tea would be marvellous. I'll put the kettle on, shall I? Are you still determined to leave the committee?
Yes, I only came back because you couldn't find anyone to take my place.
I was thinking about Keir. He's young. A bit more on the left than you, perhaps, but that's all right.
Well, you could ask him.
Yes, I will.
It's going to seem funny not having him around the house. Got used to him being here since he came back from London.
Well, you've got Blake still.
When is it home?
Blake House.
You've heard.
Not general gossip. Just observation. The odd times I've been up there clearing away the last remnants.
The last remnants?
Of my marriage to John. Things that have been there since before the war. It's odd, really. Like prying through someone else's possessions.
Will he ever come back from America, do you think?
Oh, he's coming back for Christmas, I believe. But he won't stay, I'm sure. He's a very consistent man once he's made his mind up about something.
I wish Blake could make his mind up.
Married, Paula?
Well, they could have young Emile back from that school. She's obviously fond of the lad the way she's cared for him. And she's no one else in Germany as far as I know. Seems right to me. Ideal.
People used to say John and I were the ideal couple.
We were full of romantic nonsense in them days, weren't we?
Oh, is that what he was?
Well, weren't we? We certainly were before the war. All them early films.
Ah, American films.
No, not all of them. I wonder how many wartime marriages started in the back row of the stores. One on threepence worth of darkness.
Ah, the black eye was 3. Love me tonight, tomorrow I might be dead. Oh, and it was true, of course.
I wish he'd get married. He's not house trained like you.
I bet his ears are burning.
Friend's gone?
Yes.
I'll be Spot.
All right.
I drove down to see whether Mummy was back, but she must still be at the wedding.
Whose wedding?
Blake's brother, Keir.
Oh, not invited.
As a matter of fact, I was.
Blake Haywood would have been there, of course.
Yes, I suppose he would.
Is that why you stayed away?
No. I wish you wouldn't keep mentioning Blake.
I'm sorry, I wasn't aware that I did.
It's over. Don't you believe me?
Would we be engaged to be married if I didn't believe you?
Engagements can be broken. They can also drag on.
Oh, a complaint.
You're wicked.
Am I?
You never let me know what you're thinking.
Let's get Christmas over, shall we? I'll tell Mrs. Dudley you're here. Unless you'd rather we went out to eat.
Oh, here, please. I love this house. I don't know why you're so determined to leave it.
Yes, you do.
Ghosts can be exorcised, you know.
Father's ghost, perhaps. But there's that other one, too. A small boy, very, very unhappy. You know, that's something I could never understand about Mark. To have a father like yours and yet be so contemptuous of him. Mine was a tyrant.
Awake?
Summer, mate.
Wedding was good?
The beer was. You should have come.
I had reasons.
Yeah, she was there, one of your reasons. You didn't go because Beth Warrington was going, right?
Why would I not go
Come
because
off it,
Beth
Paula.
Warrington?
I know about you and John Warrington.
You know.
Yes. Along with the rest of the population.
But I told no one. Not even you. Not to hurt him. How could anybody know?
You had servants. There's not much you can hide in a place this size.
Well, it was not like you and I.
No?
He was kind.
A gentleman?
You think that's funny?
No, I don't think it's funny. I think it's sad. I feel sorry for him.
He wanted to marry me.
You missed your chance there, didn't you?
Do you think I should have?
Most people in your position would have.
To be safe.
Yeah, to be safe. I think that's what Herta wanted most of all with me, to be safe in England.
And what did you want from her?
Oh, I used to put women on a pedestal in those days. It wasn't just that they were in short supply, I believed all the other rubbish.
But not so now.
No, not so now.
That's it.
I'll have one of those when you finish pulling that.
This is it.
You're a fast one, aren't you?
So you come in.
Where is he then?
Overtime.
I never thought he'd go back to the ironworks.
Beggars can't be choosers. There's two for every job around here since they finished the main building on the atomic site. Anyway, he says he's interested to see what changes nationalisation's made.
And what changes has it made?
None, he says. All they've done is change the boss. That'll be 11p.
Isn't it free to family? I thought you were jacking this in anyway.
What?
Pulling pints for the proletariat.
Said I wasn't.
He did. That was before the wedding, mind. Honeymoon over.
He doesn't know I'm here.
On you all to himself, does he?
I'm here for the money, not the chat.
All right. Is Keir coming in?
Like a rocket when he finds his dinner's not in the oven.
It is in the oven, as a matter of fact.
If he's bothering you, I'll get him suspended.
It's all right to make allowances for the feeble-minded.
Thanks. I'll remember that.
Find a bitter and a scotch. What was that all about?
No, Alan sent a message round to see if I wanted to carry on. They're a bit short-handed today, so I said I'd help them out anyway. Couldn't let Keir know with him being at work.
Well, do you want to carry on?
Well, we could do with the money. I don't want him giving up his writing. He's worn out doing overtime. I'll give him an hand over Christmas and then maybe he'll get used to it. How's things at the yard?
Oh, he's still just scratching a living. He wanted to go into haulage. I don't know whether the capital made him give up or whether he's just given in.
Well, something to work for is what he needs.
Yes, you could be right about that.
Ever hear from Waters?
No. Bill and I didn't have much in common except for the war. Cheers.
I would have thought that was quite a bit.
I'll close that door.
Is Amy on the other side of it too?
Better for him if he was.
What makes you think it would be better for him?
There's not much for him if he puts his trust in me.
You're his father. Where else should he put it? His mother's where, somewhere in East Germany. Who knows? Who cares?
What am I supposed to do about it?
Nothing you can do for her except to provide a home for the boy.
I'm not the homemaking kind, it seems. What kind of a home, anyway? Any kind of a home?
Perhaps.
Any kind's better than none, is it?
Perhaps. Look. You may not have made what you want of your own life. Couldn't you find some kind of purpose in giving him the chance to make something of his?
How glad you must have been when Ros packed me up.
You packed her up, too. It wouldn't have worked, and you both knew it. That was bad luck. It was bad luck with Emil's mother, too. I haven't made such a success of my life that I didn't know what a part luck can play. Let go of it, Blake.
What?
Whatever vision you have of the post-war world as regards your place in it. A far cry from this.
When's Ros married?
I didn't ask.
Is it what she wants?
I didn't ask that either. I think it'll work. That kind of marriage usually does. The kind you ought to settle for.
Like yours that was.
Yes.
Ah, aber sie wachte jetzt auf. Sie können jetzt sehen. Geben Sie mir die Blumen.
How are you?
Can't remember much.
Concussion. Bullet grazed your head.
But my leg.
It was shot up pretty badly. But you'll be all right. Of course you will.
What happened to you?
It's not serious. The important thing is that we made it.
Did I run?
Oh, yes. You ran.
She put me through the whole drill. Changing nappies, feeding him. I couldn't understand why she was trusting me. Then it turns out she wants to join the WVS and leave him with me while she goes off.
Which she fully intends to do. Don't you get bored stiff on your own all day?
You're not on your own. You've got Owen. Looking after a baby is a full-time job.
Not for me, it isn't.
I thought we'd settled all this.
We have.
Well, it's not going to be settled that way.
It is, you know.
Emil will not come home for Christmas. He will stay with the parents of a friend. Blake thought it would be better.
Blake always thinks he knows what's best. Usually means what's best for Blake.
Well, he's afraid. I think of caring too much for Emmy. When he can do so little.
Oh, he could do a heck of a lot more.
Blake's out of favour with Peg at the moment.
No, he isn't. Well, to some extent, maybe.
Did you tell him what Richard said about the house?
What did Richard say?
Well, I went to see him yesterday. He said I could stay here so long as he does not need the place.
Bound to need it eventually. The scheme the architect's working on anticipates using the whole place.
What scheme?
I've said too much already.
So I must go.
Eventually? I couldn't say when.
I thought it would be so. He did not like promising me.
Well, he can't chuck you out. You've got rights.
I'm a German. I have no rights.
Did you tell Blake?
No. No, when the time comes, I will go. Why am I here anyway? I only came to bring him his son.
Are you sure it's going to be all right? Having dinner with ex-husbands isn't quite the same as meeting old school friends, you know.
It's all been carefully planned.
Of course, the procedure will be the same as usual. 3 marks for each object and a total of 20 in the program we have at our disposal. And here are the 3 experts who are meeting the challenge from the Prague Museum. First of all, our old friend Sir Mortimer Wheeler, and then next to him, Professor Sean O'Riordan.
Denationalisation next year, Richard? And I won't be here to see it?
I doubt if anyone's going to celebrate. It'll be basically paperwork.
Sure. You'll buy back into the industry?
Of course.
Your father would have been glad to hear it.
I take no great pleasure in that.
He earned a great deal of respect in many quarters.
Not in this particular quarter.
How's Mark getting on? In his work, I mean.
He's loyal, conscientious.
I've made a considerable share of the estate over to him.
Does he know that?
Not yet. I won't be able to give him the kind of guidance he needs from the other side of the Atlantic. I'd appreciate it if you keep your eye on him. He takes far more notice of you in any case.
I doubt if he's any great ambition, you know.
No, I don't think he has. Not like you. You've great faith in this country, haven't you, Richard?
Haven't you?
Oh, we make haste slowly. This is a time of great change. The rest of the world can pass us by. I sometimes feel there is so much wrong it will never be put right. If I was a politician, which I am not, thank God, I suspect I'd be far more radical than Beth.
Beth just enjoys it.
Oh, so that's what I deplore about politics most, I think. The things we suffer, they enjoy.
I missed you.
And I missed you, my love. Mark,
Father?
And there's my grandson.
Well, she kicked you out already, has she? You come home to Dad?
No, not yet. Books. Damn roof's leaking again. They're all we've got that's worth out. You don't mind me leaving them there, do you? I'll come and clear them away in a few days. I can't stop. Blake's waiting for me.
Blake? Why, is he not coming in?
No, I met him in the club. He offered to give me an hand. You don't turn an offer like that down, not from Blake. You two had a row?
Not that I know of.
Just wondered if he usually turns friendly to one of us when he's had a row with the other. Oh, yeah, he's not coming home tonight.
He told you to tell me, did he?
Just threw it into the conversation. It's a bit of a joke, isn't it, Blake and all these women? Which one is it this time?
Same one as last time, as far as I know. I'm glad somebody finds it funny.
Well, sorry I can't stop. Martha says, will you come and have Christmas dinner with us?
Oh, Peg's already asked me. And Blake.
Is Blake going?
He says he is.
Ah, well, I'll not bother asking him then.
Do you mind?
You can't split yourself in two, can you? I'll have to go. You know what he's like when he's kept waiting.
Look after yourself.
I'm looked after.
You can't split yourself in two.
They're happy, aren't they, those two upstairs?
Yes, I think so. It was a good marriage.
Yeah. I can remember thinking at the time what a lucky chance it was, the two families being joined, as it were, at the end of a war in which the class barriers were supposed to have been broken down. It seemed like a good omen, but it really hasn't worked in that direction, has it?
No.
Just made two people happy.
Are you happy?
I think so. Yes. Yes, I think I am. Haven't quite decided what I'm going to do on the stage yet. Very much a gentleman of leisure at the moment, but I shall do something, of course. I shall do something.
He's singing him to sleep. Oh. You should go and eavesdrop. It's quite a performance.
I think you better duck.
Champagne!
Yes, for the wedding.
What wedding?
Your wedding, next month. Oh, my God. I'm terribly sorry, Richard. I completely forgot.
My wedding next month?
Yes.
I see. I really do wish someone would tell me about these things.
I'm awfully sorry.
Excuse me.
Mark told me he meant it as a surprise for Christmas Day.
I know. What a terrible gaffe.
Christmas was a happy time when I was a little girl in Germany.
Unless you happen to be Jewish.
Why is it when I say something good about my country, must you always say something not so good?
I'd just like to keep the records straight.
Did you say such things to Herta?
Sometimes. She was always making excuses for the master race.
But I don't do that.
You did when you first came.
I was afraid. I don't know why. I thought perhaps we deserved to be afraid for the things we turned our eyes from. And now I'm afraid in another way.
Which way?
I'm not sure of the future. When I came here, there was hope. My brother was alive, and in time I would take Emil to see him and Herta. And now all of that is gone.
How long you been up?
Hours.
Yeah?
Oh! Not long, really.
I hate winter mornings. I started at the ironworks on a morning like this. 15. Off for the bus with me snapped in. Terrified.
I can't imagine you terrified.
Can't you?
It's your last chance, Rose's wedding. You go to the altar and you carry her away. Like in the stories. You have such stories in England?
Happy ever after stories, you mean?
Don't you want to be happy ever after?
I'll settle for being happy right now. But that's not enough for a woman, though, is it?
Where are you going?
Back to bed.
I thought I was the only Warrington insomniac.
Not an insomniac, old man, just an early riser.
I'm off. Harris has called me a taxi. I thought I'd look in at Lake House before I went to Beth's. There's an old bureau with some photographs in.
So you won't be coming back here then?
No. I shall be going down to London after the wedding. Good of you to have me.
It's a pleasure. We'll be over there to see you one of these days. I've some very happy memories of New York. Safe harbor after a long and nasty convoy.
Well, I'll see you up at the church.
I always thought the bride said that.
I asked you to call me at 8.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
forgot your daughter was being married today.
Not quite that.
Working?
There are just some things I have to read. Did you come down in the night?
Yes. Sorry if I woke you.
I was awake.
I was wishing you'd come down.
Were you? Why?
Just to talk.
We can talk now.
Well, they've gone now.
Uncertainties?
A few. They usually go when it starts to get light. I'm glad Daddy's coming this morning.
Yes, it was a nice idea.
Probably won't see him again for years.
Oh, I don't know. He may not settle out there.
He won't come back. Why should he? There's nothing for him here.
I'm going to miss this place so much. All my life is here. All of it. Is it too late?
John.
May I?
Oh, yes, yes, of course.
It's not an inconvenient time, I hope.
Oh, no, no.
I meant to call it Christmas, but somehow or other I didn't quite make it. How are you?
I'm very well.
And Emil?
Oh, he's very well, too.
I should have called while he was home.
He did not come home for Christmas.
Oh.
He went to see the parents of a friend. Blake thought it would be better for him.
And you? What did you think?
I missed him. He's become like my own son since we came to England.
It must have been a very lonely Christmas for you without him. I should have called. It was only my pride that kept me away.
Pride?
I knew if I saw you, I should have to ask if you still felt unable to marry me. No, don't say anything. I can see from your face that you do. You have the same reasons, I take it?
Reasons?
Well, you had good reasons, you said, that I would not understand.
Are you going back to England?
No, I go back to East Germany tomorrow.
But that's a terrible risk for you.
Risk? A wartime habit. I think it's what keeps me from England. I'm more afraid of being bored.
When I can go from here, I shall first write to Paula.
You're worried that Blake might not let Emil go, aren't you? That he'll have become attached to him. Won't let him go.
Paula won't let that happen. She's German. As I am. As Emil is. We are German.
Maybe I'm really German, too. Maybe home is where the heart is.
We're closed.
Go on.
What are you doing here anyway? I thought you were working today.
This afternoon, I meant. Good grief, woman, I didn't pack in till 10:30 last night.
Where did you go this morning then?
While you were still dreaming in bed. I went to Grandad's old house to pick up the rent.
How much did you get?
You can put your hot little hand away. I didn't get anything. Blake beat me to it. There's nothing this week. I did learn something, though. The Ramsdens are moving out in spring.
Oh, it'll come empty for us.
Yeah, there's a catch. Blake still wants to sell it. He wants the money for his business. At least he told Ramsden that when Ramsden said he was giving notice.
Seems daft for me to get a house.
Yeah, but how else can we split the money? We can't split the house.
But what happens if we get checked out next week?
We'll qualify for a council house.
Would we?
If the list wasn't half a mile long already. Hey up. It's the secretary of the Whitstanton Labour Party.
Temporary acting unpaid. There's a management committee meeting here at 11:30.
Aye. What's your policy on housing?
Build more. But we're not in office nationally.
And whose fault is that?
Oh, ours. Well, according to the last thing you wrote in Tribune.
Hey, he reads it.
No, Beth Warrington showed it to me. Too many old men running the party, that's what he said. He didn't mention my name, but I know when I'm being spoken to. Pity he doesn't practice what he preaches.
Who doesn't?
You doesn't. You were offered my job and you turned it down. A young up-and-comer to take the place of an old has-been.
It was you put Beth Warrington onto me, was it?
Well, you're always saying you don't agree with this, that and t'other. If you want things changed, come in and change them. And give us a rest.
I'd be committed if I did.
To what?
Labour establishment.
Oh, it's a broad church. There's room for even your outlandish views under this flag.
I wouldn't be honest. I only fly one flag. Me own.
Ah, there you see. We're all out of step but our Kia.
You only just realised that.
Oh. Your mother's upstairs with Roz. You're not pushed for time, are you?
Not much to spare.
Well, give them a minute or two. I'm sure he'll be down on the dot.
You're going straight down to London after the wedding, Richard tells me.
Yes?
Will you be coming back here before you go to America?
No. I had intended to, but no. I shall not come back.
Peg hoped you'd come to dinner again before you left.
We must bring her over there and have dinner with me one day, perhaps.
I don't understand why you decided to go there. I wouldn't have thought it was you at all.
I think a lot of people would agree with you. I don't totally understand myself. Something to do with age, probably.
It's nothing to do with me.
With you? What on earth gave you that idea?
Oh, I just wondered if there was something you wanted to get away from.
From you? Why should I want to get away from you?
Well, not me exactly. I mean, well, I'm just me. I mean, I don't count, except that I'm one of the family and... Well, it's all been a bit of a disaster, really, hasn't it, since the war? I mean, I haven't been much help, have I?
You've married Peg. You're happy. What more could a father want?
A little gratitude, perhaps. A little affection.
You can't give what you don't feel, that you don't have.
I do now. A little, I think. It was when Richard told me you were going off today that I suddenly realized I might never see you again. It reminded me of a day years ago. You'd taken me to Ampleforth for the first time, and I was excited about it because you'd been there. And because, well, it was all a bit of an adventure, really, I suppose. And then you went off. Well, I knew that I was supposed to stay and that you'd go, but when it actually happened, I was terrified, lost. We'd always been very close up until then.
Yes, we were.
I couldn't understand how you could just go off and leave me feeling like that. But you couldn't have known, of course.
Oh, yes, I knew. I felt the same when I first went to Ampleforth. I saw my father walking away. But it passed. The beginning of term was always difficult, but it passed. I felt it all the time I was there. The whole time. I never understood. And you blame me. Who else?
That's lovely, darling. Just take it nice and slowly. I'll make sure the veil's all right. That's it.
You look stunning, Roz.
I'm glad you came. Just the four of us, together, for the last time.
She believes in God, like the people who put these stones here must have believed in theirs. Something to give your life to. I was something to sacrifice. Something that she picked up to put on the altar. I know what it's like to feel a knife come down.
I didn't know you cared so much.
I don't. I'm just angry. I don't like being used.
I use you? I use you not to be lonely. I use you not to be alone in the dark.
We're all alone in the dark. We all like to think there's a light burning for us, and that we'll find it. That's what these stones are all about. Dreams. Dreams of light. Centuries of them. What's my bit of a dream in all this time, eh? It's a laugh.
So you're not mad with me that I use you?
I use you too. You know I do.
And is that all you want from me?
It was in the beginning.
And now?
I don't know what I want.
You knew with Herta.
Oh, I thought I knew. She was what you dreamt of on cold desert nights, looking across the sand towards Rommel. And over there, they're dreaming of her too. Lily Marlene. We're all one flesh, even dreaming.
And Roz? Was it nothing more?
Oh, a hell of a lot more was Roz. All to do with the officers' mess, she was.
The officers' mess?
Sort of club I belonged to in the war. Gave me ideas above my station, as they say. I thought I could come out after it was over, beat the bastards at their own game. I sold out on every idea my dad ever put into my head, to join them and beat them. Everything he ever taught me about history. He was right. I was wrong. I was wartime only. There for life. It all lined up against you. The army of the righteous, captains and kings, Whitehall warriors. God on their side.
Here she is. Take good care of her.
Dear brethren, people decide to marry for a multitude of reasons. And among those reasons, true, unselfish love should be paramount. It is indeed that kind of love which has brought us together into this church this afternoon.
Leave that alone. I said leave it alone.
It won't hurt me.
Give it here. I'll put you in hospital. God, I think you'll put me there.
Can I make him a suggestion?
Yeah, make it quick.
Either get a trolley out again or back the lorry up to the doors.
God, it's only a cockstride.
Speedy Gonzales, eh?
Don't be so cheeky.
I'll give it a wash while you're here.
Needs it.
Well, what do you think of it?
A bit scruffy, isn't it?
Yeah, we're not thinking of holding dances here. Blake! Your sister's come to see you. Blake! Peg's here!
Oh, can't wait, can he?
I'll give him a chance. He's been at it since first thing.
Hello.
Hi there. What can we do you for?
I've come to help.
Picks her time, doesn't she, eh?
Oh, I don't know. Just right for a cup of tea.
Oh, that's right. Put her in the kitchen where she belongs.
How's the kid?
Which one?
The little one.
Oh, fine, thanks.
I don't have to ask about the big one. I had a few pints with him last night.
Oh, don't I know it, keeping him out till all hours.
She expected something like the Rialto.
Well, the kettle and the makings are over there.
It's worse than the last place.
Yeah, well, we'd still be at the last place if your husband's lot hadn't chucked us out.
It wasn't Mark, it was Richard. Come to that, it wasn't even Richard. The mining company is nationalised, you know. Somebody in London decides what they do with the land.
Yeah, well, somebody in London decided Blake Haywood was doing too well, so tell him his lease is up.
Anyway, it won't be nationalised for much longer. A few more weeks and we'll be back to private ownership in the bad old days.
Yeah, well, Richard and Mark should have hung on. I mean, the new owners might decide to leave things as they are.
You can't make your mind up, you two, can you? He's against private ownership. You think they might be better for you.
Don't lump me with him. I'm a capitalist, he's a worker.
Yeah, I'm also your dad.
Doesn't mean a thing in the business world. I'd sack you as soon as look at you.
You would, too.
Oh, have you had a word with our Keir yet?
No, I haven't had a chance.
What do you want with Keir?
Keep your nose out. It is urgent, you know.
Yeah, well, as soon as I get a chance, I'll tell him. I can't do out till I see him, can I?
Hey up, me first customer. Keep your fingers crossed.
What's all this about Keir?
Yeah, you're worse than your mother was. Sure a secret and she'd worry it like a bone.
Well, I am family, aren't I? I'm entitled to know.
Well, it's something and nothing, really. Blake wants Grandad's house sold. He wants to use his share to build up this place. And it's up to Muggins here to talk Keir into agreeing.
Oh, I see. I'd always seen Keir living in Grandad's house.
Seems to be happy enough where he is.
Well?
He's at the co-op funeral department.
Ted? Hello? Come in a minute. What do you want? Come here. What's all this?
Hey, don't let Mr. Richard catch you with that line on your desk. You seen what it says here?
I can read, you know. It's so damn confidential, it's the first I've seen of it, and I'm supposed to be head of the estates department.
Who gave it you?
Ethel brought it in. She said Mr. Richard wanted me to see it before it was locked away.
Oh, that's what he told me yesterday. Well, you were out, weren't you? You were at Millham, or he'd have told you.
Do you know what this is?
Of course I do. It's a demolition order on Omdurman Street.
Yes, the real thing. Not sometime in the future, now.
Hang on, they're giving them fair notice. They'll all get a letter.
When?
2 or 3 weeks. There's 1 or 2 things to sort out with head office and council.
You know who lives in Omdurman Street, don't you?
Yeah. Keir Haywood and his missus.
Well, I'm sorry we can't convince you. We need you, Keir. We need a strong constituency party, and that means a strong secretary. You know how easily political apathy sets in, particularly in a so-called safe seat.
They've not been in for 2 years yet.
Thank you. Yes, but they're disintegrating. With Eden sick, Churchill's desperately overworked.
Work never bothered Churchill.
He's an old man.
What difference does that make?
Do I detect a note of defeatism?
No, you don't. When the time comes, we'll get back in. But in the meantime, I want to be a working class writer. And not the stuff secretaries are made of.
Can I at least count in your support?
I don't want him to go out to work at all. I want him to stay at home and write. That's what he's good at.
Yes. But how do we convince him of that?
I've had 3 articles published since I got back. 3 articles in over a year.
Do you wonder? You come home tired out. Look at him. That's how he looks when he comes off shift.
Oh, hello.
I must go.
Huh? What did I do?
No, I must. I won't stop trying. Thank you.
Bye.
Better know what that was about.
I know damn well you do. What have you come about?
Oh, Blake's been at me again. He wants Grandad's house sold. He says he needs the money.
He knows where we live.
Is that what I've got to tell him?
Got to talk to him sooner or later, haven't we?
Still don't see why we don't live in your granddad's house. This place is coming down.
How many more times do you want telling, woman? It's been coming down for 20 years. It's good for a few more yet. And how am I going to raise the money to pay Blake his share? Send you out on the streets?
Hey, that's enough of that.
Just tell him.
Don't look at me.
Look, Mark, demolition is an emotive issue. It's capable of rousing great passions, and I don't wish that to happen. More important things to think about at the moment. So not a word, you understand? Not one single word. I only thought that maybe you might tell your brother-in-law, and within 24 hours it'll be all round the town. And the more time you give people to complain, the more chance there is they will.
But I'm sure
No. Is that fairly clear? Good. Mrs. Jackson telephoned me, said that you'd asked for some more copies.
Yes, I did.
Well, make sure they're locked away, will you?
Yes.
Richard, Major Bell's here to see you.
Ian, how nice
How
to
do
see
you do?
you. Do come in.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello, Major.
Thank you, Mark. Please, do sit down.
Thank you.
Too early for a drink, I suppose?
Oh, heavens, yes. And I'm afraid I'm not going to be the most welcome of visitors. I'm fundraising.
Oh? What's that in aid of? New bar for the House of Lords?
Even more important.
Really?
Thank you. Now, look. As we both know, Eden isn't a fit man.
That's common knowledge.
Yes, but it's rather worse than we thought, I'm afraid. Anything could happen.
Oh.
And if he, doesn't come back and Churchill staggers along with the Foreign Office on top of the Premiership, he may well go down too.
Yes, he's far from fit himself.
Yes, indeed. My point exactly. And if he does, and there's no Eden to take over, we may well be in for an election. And if we are, then we want to win this seat. Even if it does mean taking it away from the family. We've made plenty of inroads. There's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't win. Well, if not this next time, certainly the time after. But it does take money. I've put you down for 5,000.
Really? It's nice to know that I'm so highly regarded.
Well, I'm sure we're all working for the same ends.
I was always taught by my father, who was rather more direct in his business dealings than the Warrington who used to live here, that there is nothing more important in life than the quid pro quo. Apparently it makes the world go round.
You mean there's some way I can help you?
There is, as a matter of fact. As you know, iron and steel are up for grabs, and I want 2 things. I want the mining company back.
Yes, we all expected that.
And I want the ironworks. Full control from raw ore to finished steel. But it's going to cost money. Big money.
Anyone in mind?
Lockhart and Bryant.
You're certainly aiming high.
Where else? But can you deliver them?
Well, I dare say I could talk to them. I may say they hold you in very high regard as a captain of industry.
Good. Well, tell them that I hold them in high regard, too, as shrewd investors. Now, you ready for that drink?
Why not?
Now, you look like I feel.
Blake said you're grafting, has he?
Yeah, he has, since 7 o'clock this morning.
You should stick with Blake, he'll make you rich. I'm not kidding, he's got brass written all over him.
You know, how one woman could give birth to the two of you, I'm blowed if I know.
You were involved in all.
Yeah, that really baffles me.
Did you tell Blake what I said?
Yes, I did, and I'm sick of playing messenger boy. He said if he doesn't see you before, he'll see you next week when you come round to our place. Oh, you are coming, aren't you, for coronation?
What coronation is this then?
A coronation on television.
You've not got one, have you?
Well, I will have. They're bringing it round on Friday.
You with a television?
Why not? All us toffs have got them. You are coming?
Oh, aye, yeah, we'll be there. Is Blake bringing anyone?
He's bringing Paola.
Hey, you hear that? George got himself a television.
He writes good English now?
He does. At school's been good for him.
Where's the washing soda?
Underneath.
When are we going up again?
I thought perhaps on Sunday.
Yep.
I'll make him a parcel of his favourite cakes and that special chocolate.
Thank you for being like a mother to him.
I think of him as my son, too.
I think we'll be good for him together.
Perhaps. But Hertha is still his mother.
Why haven't we heard from her?
Perhaps she's stopped thinking about us.
I can't believe she forgot her own son.
No, I mean in Germany, one thinks about the next meal and getting through the night without a knock on the door. Maybe we should not blame her too much.
Frau Hertha Brandt.
Yes?
Hello. I'm Sally McAllister from the League. I've taken over from Mrs. Grant.
Ah, yeah. Mrs. Grant has gone home.
Yes, she has. How are you?
Okay. Thank you.
Is there anything you need? No writing paper? Do you write a lot of letters?
I write, but I don't get letters back.
Oh, dear. Is there anything we can do?
Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to write to my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law is in England with Emil. He's my son. She took him out of East Germany to England, and I stayed behind with my husband. But Emil is not the son of my husband. There was an English soldier.
Yes, I know. Mrs. Grant did tell me. Your husband died in prison, and you were shot when you tried to escape. You deserve a little peace.
I want to go to England to find my son.
Not like that. We'll have to get you better first. Whereabouts in England did your sister-in-law go, do you know?
Oh, yes. At first, she wrote to me. But for many months now, there has been nothing. She went to Cumberland in the north, to a beautiful house by a lake with many trees and gardens. She said that the house was full of beautiful things and that Emil played in the gardens by the lake, and he was very happy. She said, too, that she had met Emil's father, the soldier, and that they would look after Emil until I came to England. But then I moved my apartment in East Berlin, and since that time I've heard nothing. Perhaps my letters do not get to her.
She will be worried. She will not know if I'm alive or if I'm dead.
Oh, is Kia coming in?
He's not home yet. At least he wasn't when I left. He might be now.
Oh, late shift, eh?
Yeah,
Oh, will he be in later on?
I doubt it. Not if he's out like he has been.
Yeah, he looked a bit shot the other night.
Yeah, he looks shot every night. He's wasting himself.
Well, he's doing what he wants to do.
Is that to say he's right? It's our fault. We should have left him in London.
Never. This is where he belongs.
No, it isn't. It's where we belong. He likes to think he does, but he doesn't. I was talking to Beth Warrington about him, and she should know. She's a member of Parliament. She says he's a very good writer and he ought to be earning his living at it.
Yeah, well, he can do other things as well.
Not tending a furnace, he can't.
All right, get him to take on secretary's job here.
Why? Why waste his time? Anybody can do that.
Thanks, I did it for 20 years.
Can you write like him? Can you use words like he can? Can you?
He's a clever lad. Lucky too, eh? All that talent and a wife like you.
Well, tell him that.
I don't need to, love, he knows it.
Hello, George.
Oh, will he?
Hey, have they delivered that television set of yours yet?
Yeah, they have. It's sitting on my sideboard like a jewel, it is.
Oh, heck. You must be made of money.
I thought that was common knowledge.
Won't mind having a look at that one of these days.
Any time you like. Oh, no, I won't ask you for coronation. I've got a house full. But any other time, bring the missus.
Aye, well, just for an hour or two. Hey, watching them things can damage your eyes.
Well, if you do too much of it, it can. Still, you do too much of it, you damage somewhat, don't you?
True enough. Hey, you heard the buzz that's going around? Richard Warrington taking over at ironworks.
No, you're the mining company, you mean?
No, I don't. I mean the ironworks.
Get off. I know he's after a mining company, but he couldn't find money for both of them. It'd cost a fortune.
Yeah, I thought it were funny. Said so at the time. Oh, give us a bottle of brown ale, love. Are you,
no, sir.
Left your husband yet, Chuck?
No, not yet.
Tip us a wink when you do. Look after yourself, George.
Yeah. Well, sufficient unto the day. I'll see you come round early in the morning if you want to see it from the beginning, 10:15. There'll be coffee, sandwiches, cake, and a bottle of beer later on. You'll go shorter now.
Shall I wear my dance frock?
Yeah, why not? We'll make a party of it.
Does Mark know you're here?
Oh, he knows I'm here, but he doesn't know what about. I didn't tell him any lies. I simply said I didn't want to be cooped up in the house all day, so I was going to get my bike out and come over and have a chat.
And you left him holding the baby? Literally?
Oh, it won't do him any harm. He enjoys the responsibility. He does, you know. He enjoys responsibility. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not arguing with you.
No, but...
I wonder if that means Richard's winning.
Doesn't he always?
He doesn't often lose.
I wonder what he thinks of Mark. He never gives him a chance. Gives him anything important to do. I sometimes think Mark should leave the family business completely and set up on his own. What does Richard think of Mark?
I wish I knew. I wish I knew what Richard thought about anything. We're not like you and Mark. We don't pour out our hearts to each other. I honestly think if Richard were going bankrupt, I'd be the last person to hear about it.
Oh, this is a lovely house.
Yes, it helps.
It's funny. If you'd married Blake, you'd be living in Dad's house now, not here. Did you ever think of Blake?
Try not to.
Ross? Mummy! Darling. 2 birds with 1 stone. How's Peg?
Marvellous.
And the family?
Blooming.
That's good to hear.
Well, why didn't you phone?
Well, I just popped in to say goodbye. I'm on my way down to London.
Time for a drink?
A very small scotch, some instant energy for the drive down.
Do you have to go tonight?
Yes, I must. I have to get started at the crack of dawn tomorrow.
What it is to be an honoured guest at the coronation.
Oh, my darling, they can't start without me.
You in the Abbey?
Of course. Stuck behind a pillar in the North Transept.
On television?
Well, I better be or I'm not going.
What you wearing?
Ah, a very nice navy-tailored suit with a paisley pattern blouse.
And a hat?
Yes, of course a hat.
But knowing you won't be all that frivolous.
Well, it's a formal occasion. Where's Richard?
Oh, he's in there. Business dinner. Local Tory hierarchy.
Oh, dear. With me sitting here.
Mummy, it doesn't matter.
No, but I must go.
Well, we want to hear all about it and see the suit.
Don't worry, you will. I can't afford outfits. I only wear once. Not on an MP salary. Say goodbye to Richard for me, will you?
Beth, what a pleasant surprise.
Hello, Richard.
You know Ian Bell, don't you? Neville Bryant, Tommy Lockhart, Beth Warrington.
Oh, Mr. Bryant and I have met before, haven't we?
Yes, we have. Hello.
Sir Thomas, nice to meet you.
A pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Warrington.
Well, you'll stay for a drink, Beth?
No, I'm just on my way down to London.
Oh, of course, the coronation. Affairs of state, no less.
Are you officiating in any way? Black rodding or anything?
Not this time around. Well, it's been very nice to meet you, gentlemen. Good night.
Good night, Beth.
That was unfortunate.
Yes. However, I think you can safely leave Beth Warrington to me.
After all, what does it matter? We're almost there.
As almost being the operative word. Now, we have made it quite clear now that Neville nor myself want our names linked with this until our offer has been accepted.
Of course.
We're only human, Richard. We just don't want to run the risk of being associated with a failure.
Gentlemen, we won't fail. That I can assure you. We won't fail. Now, port, brandy.
Here. Why didn't you go to bed?
Eh?
I said, why didn't you go to bed?
I'm all right. What time is it?
11:15. And you're far from all right.
Don't look like that. I'm bred like a whippet. I'm not going the same way Jack did, if that's what...
I know. But you're working at ironworks all hours God sends. You're not stuck behind an office desk like your Peg's husband. It's bound to tire you out.
It's not the only thing that tires me out.
All right, we'll give up that as well.
It will, Ella's like, come here.
Tell them what they can do with the furnaces.
You want me to write, don't you, for a living?
Of course I do.
Well, then can't you see, stupid, if I give up the ironworks, I've got nothing to write about.
Well, what have you got, for God's sake? You've got a typewriter gathering dust. When was the last time you used it? When was the last time you used the brain God gave you?
When I got married. And I'm beginning to have me doubts about that. If I'd known you were this daft, I'd have thought twice.
Oh, it's me who's daft, is it? What about the fellow who goes out to work so he can write about it and comes home worn to a frazzle? And instead of sitting down at his typewriter, he sits down in front of the fire every night and drops off. I suppose he qualifies for the Brains Trust.
Give us a kiss and shut up.
You haven't won, you know, so I don't think you have.
Oh, God, who's that?
You're the clever one. You look through the door and tell me.
Go on.
Oh, hello.
Having a bad time, have I?
No worse than usual. It's your Blake.
Long time no see.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to call so late. I won't keep you a minute. Did Dad have a word with you about Grandad's house?
He said you're wanting to get it sold, yeah.
I need the money.
What about the Ramsdens? They're sitting tenants.
They're going at the end of August. Going to live with their son. So we could sell it at the beginning of September.
Right. What do you want me to do?
Agreed?
Agreed.
You don't have to do anything. I've had it valued. Phil Bailey did it for me. Be prepared. I was in the Scouts. He says we shouldn't have any trouble getting $350 for it. So I'll put it in the paper tomorrow, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, thanks for your time. I didn't want a cup of tea.
I don't want him in this house again.
He was nice enough.
Of course he was. He wanted something. And like a fool, you let him have it. That's the last we have to do with him.
He's my brother.
It's me who should have thought twice about getting wed. You're a right soft devil.
Yeah.
Come on, Mark. Dad will play Hamlet with us if we're late.
And Richard will play Hamlet with me if I don't get these papers locked away.
Oh, it's a bank holiday. You shouldn't be working on a bank holiday.
Hardly 5 minutes.
I can't say I'm looking forward to it. Blake and Keir haven't a word for each other. How can you do business if you're not speaking?
And what business?
Oh, selling Grandad's house. Dad was telling me. Blake wants to get his hands on the money.
And Keir's agreed?
Well, that's what I'm saying. How can he if they're not speaking? Oh, knowing our Blake, though, he'll swallow his pride if there's money involved.
Keir shouldn't sell that house, Peg.
I know. That's what I said. Who are they going to?
Peg. I can't say anything.
I've just had a word with the doctor. I'm sorry.
I'm not so good as I think.
Well, these things take time. Did the doctor say how long it would be before you'd be fit to travel?
Yes, he said it could take many months. Beginning of December. Will you still be here?
Mm-hmm.
Is it right you're thinking of selling Grandad's house?
Shh.
I wonder how much this lot's set him back.
Give him a chance.
Oh, look, there's Mummy.
Good Lord, yes.
Oh, that hat.
Take your time.
What happens? She's changing her frock.
No, she would want everyone to see her down. She's probably having a cup of tea like we are. She's probably needs it after that lot.
Kia, are you and Blake selling Grandad's house?
Oh, stop mithering about Grandad's house.
Now look, this is once in a lifetime. For God's sake, shut up about the damned house. It's theirs to do what they please with.
Well, it's nothing to do with that, Dad.
Peg.
Can we have this thing off? Nothing's happening.
Hey, I'll do that. Now, look, what's the matter with you?
Well, it's for everybody's good. But I'd be pleased if you didn't repeat what I said outside this room. It could get Mark into trouble.
Omdurman Street's being demolished.
You what?
You'll be getting a letter in a week or so, but, well, I'm afraid you won't get much notice.
You're saying we should be living in your granddad's house?
Well, it's the only sensible thing to do.
Well, Mark's known about it for a week. But he didn't know what you were doing with Grandad's house. As soon as he did, he told me. So don't say anything, please.
How do I get my money?
Oh, there's a point.
Well, if you give Blake half of what it's worth, you can keep the house. It'll be yours.
Why didn't I think of that? Give us my checkbook, love.
There's no need to be sarcastic. She's only telling you for your own good.
Well, can't you get a mortgage?
A steel worker, they wouldn't look at him. There's no point in telling you you're a writer, is there?
Don't fret, we'll find somewhere.
Blake, you can't just sell a perfectly good house when it's needed.
Don't get at me. I'm not the villain of this piece. It's his lot that are pulling them down. That house is half mine. We said we'd sell it and we shook on it. So if you're thinking of welching on the deal...
Who's said anything about welching, for Christ's sake? I know we shook hands. I know what the deal is. Just sell the bloody house. We'll find another.
Oh, I didn't want to cause any trouble.
And you should have kept your mouth shut.
Don't get her, you silly sod.
Shut up, the lot of you! Shut up!
I'm sorry. I don't know what you'll think of us.
In Germany, we have families too.
Yeah. My granddad. That's my father's father. Kept 20 gold sovereigns in a chamois leather bag. Kept him in a collar box behind his bowler hat on the wardrobe shelf. Every now and then, he'd take 'em out and count 'em, and when he did, he'd call me and my two brothers and my sister into the bedroom, and he'd let us touch 'em. Feel the gold. Twist them in our fingers till it caught the light. They're there, he used to say, for when they're needed. Well, I reckon they were needed about 20 times during his lifetime, but they stayed exactly where they were until he died, and most of the need was gone. I'm damned if that's going to happen in this house.
Don't do anything daft.
I told you to shut up. Now, there's £215 here. The house is valued at 350, you say, so half share is 175. So if I take away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it's 175. Here you are.
Are you sure?
Do you want me to burn them?
They're for him.
No, they're for you. You give them to him. Right, you've got your money, you've got your house. Stick those in the bank for my grandson.
Oh, Dad.
Take them. Now, if you don't mind. The Queen's waiting for us.
My dear Emile, today I've seen the doctor, and he has told me that it will be many months, perhaps not until the end of the year, before I will be able to get out of my bed and travel to England to see you. And I do so long to see you. I hope you are now at school and working hard at your lessons, and that you are a good boy and not a worry to your teachers. It is so long since I've heard from you and Tante Paula that I start thinking perhaps you have gone from the house where you were living, and that you are not getting my letters. I can only hope that someone knows where you are and will send them to you.
You know, it really is amazing how the workforce swallowed all that guff about nationalisation. Did they really feel they were masters of their own destiny? You've been on both sides, Richard. Did the men genuinely believe they were the bosses?
I don't think they ever wanted it, you know. I suppose they were after some utopia where there are no bosses at all, and in a way they got what they wanted. Bosses no one could find. Once you got beyond the iron and steel board, you found yourself in no man's land without a signpost in sight. You know, there were times I didn't even know which minister I was responsible to. All quite deliberate, of course, a carefully orchestrated cacophony. Only one message rang loud and clear. Decisions cost money.
Can you blame them? Why spend millions on a new process when it takes the unions years to agree to work the damn thing?
Don't knock the unions too hard, Neville. They're just scared about losing jobs, that's all. You can't blame them for that.
Don't tell us you're going soft on us.
No, simply issuing a warning note. They don't want us back, Tommy. Make no mistake about it. Oh, they tolerate me in the top office as a lackey, but they don't want me back as Lord and Master. Oh, no. We must introduce democracy. What we need is a liaison committee between the mine and the ironworks. Workers and management meetings, say, once a month. Everything out in the open.
And the workers' representatives, democratically elected,
As democratically as it can be arranged. After all, justice must be seen to be done.
Even if it isn't?
Well, I make no excuses. It's a crazy world. To do right, you have to do wrong.
Why must it all be so difficult? Heavens! We're all after the same thing.
Quite. Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Well, when will you let me know?
Tomorrow. Is that all right?
Oh, heavens, yes. As long as it's the right answer.
2-2-12 Old Milk Tablet up in
Oh, I can't bear to drink with them.
Do you blame them? One minute you're proud owner of a mine and an ironworks, next they've whipped them back again.
Did you think they owned them?
No, but at least they had summit. Now they've got out again. Don't you go reneging. It was your party preached public ownership and not state ownership. Remember?
Oh, I remember. And as I remember, it was your party too.
Ah, well, I'm a writer. I'm uncommitted. Just let me see you falter. I'll have to go. I left Martha doing the packing.
Well, I won't keep you. Night, kid.
See ya. Dad, see you tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Scotch?
Please?
Scotch, please.
A bit standoffish, isn't he?
No, they're flitting tonight.
As long as it's not a moonlight.
How can it be a moonlight? You're pulling them down tomorrow.
No sense of humour, these mining company lads, have they? Talking about your Richard and his pals, they're not going to have it all their own way if they do take over at ironworks.
Hey, who says?
Behind me, talking to Ernie Muscroft.
What, a chap with a moustache?
Jackie McGivern, new convener. Sent him up from Swansea.
Why, what's wrong with Walter Pitt?
Yeah, he's past it, isn't he? New war, new general. And from what I hear, this one's the right one.
Is he, by gum?
And if anybody asks, he's come up here for his wife's health.
You wouldn't believe we're all trying to make a living, would you?
A good one, Teddy boy. A good one.
There's a mattress on landing, and a few bits in the back bedroom, and then there's just a few bits down here.
Fine.
All right.
Leave it with us.
I'll be up in a minute.
Okay.
Hello.
How's it going?
Not so bad. Could have done with a bigger lorry.
No, Blake didn't offer to help, did he?
Well, after the way you looked at him. Which way were you dreaming when I came in? Backwards or forwards?
I was thinking that chair was getting shut off. All the stuffing's coming out of it.
All the stuffing's coming out of me, but I'm good for a couple of years yet.
Yeah, well, given the choice, I'd rather get shut of the chair.
You can have us both. Come here. Memories.
Oh, been some bad ones.
Well, just so long as you break even. You feel cold?
Yeah, I am a bit.
Well, we'll get a fire going. In our new home. Come on. We've got work to do. Never mind the banisters, there'll be matchwood this time tomorrow.
I like that one.
Oh, yes, he was very happy that day.
When did you take these?
Last time we went to see him, I had them
Developed.
developed in the town.
Where was I when you took them?
You were talking to the headmaster about his schoolwork.
You should have waited for me.
I know, I didn't think.
I thought you were at the club.
Yeah, I am. I just nipped back for that brochure on the television set. Nay, it was them that asked me about it. I never mentioned the thing.
It's upstairs. Here, I'll get it for you.
Oh, can I have a look? Oh, yeah. He's growing up into a bonny lad, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, you can see the man in him there already. The way he's standing, look.
I want him to grow into a good German. Does that make you angry when I say that?
No. A good German's as good as a good anybody else. Damn sight better than a bad Englishman. It's only the bad Germans we suffered from.
Doesn't say how much it cost. Oh. Do you want me to write it in the corner?
No, I don't, and stop being so sarky. Tell him off for me, will you?
Go on then. Tell me off.
You are a bad boy.
Funny how things work out.
Would you have married Hertha?
If she'd have come to England instead of you? Oh, yeah, I'd have done the right thing, all right. Which would have been the wrong thing. You're as much of a mother to him as she could ever be. And you'd be more of a wife to me.
When?
Today. No, tomorrow.
No, there's no hurry. My birthday's on the 19th of December. And I think I would like to be married on my birthday. My mother was married on her birthday, and my grandmother was married on her birthday, and it would be nice for her.
I love you.
We saw the light on the door open, or else we wouldn't have bothered. Thought you'd be finished by now.
It's dragging on a bit. Where have you been? Somewhere nice?
Oh, the pictures. High noon. He fancies himself as Gary Cooper.
Oh! Are you back soon?
We went to First House. Don't like to leave the babysitter too long. We got Mary Squires from the post office.
Oh, she's a nice girl.
Yeah, she is.
We'll leave you to it then.
Oh. You know, this wouldn't have been happening if it hadn't been for you two.
Oh, give over.
Nobody found out, did they?
Not so far. Keep your fingers crossed.
He's not so bad at times. Oh, they're back. Hello.
Hello. Well, don't worry, we're just off.
Hey, come on, you. Every bit helps.
Oh, right. Which is the lightest?
That one.
Bye-bye. See you. Ta-ra.
Bye-bye.
Nearly done.
Leave it. I don't want it. Let it die with the house.
By the way, I've decided to hand me notice in tomorrow. I'll take that job at the Labour Club as secretary. It pays now, but it'll keep me nearer things, and I'll have a lot of time to do all that writing you want me to do.
Well?
Step in the right direction, I suppose.
Are you never satisfied?
No. Good riddance.
I saw Martha yesterday in the village, and she says they've settled in nicely into their new home.
Bully for them.
It's too soon for these things.
Christmas comes earlier every year. It's needed.
It's needed everywhere, but in Germany, we do it 1 week before.
Yeah, I know.
How do you know?
Oh, Herta used to tell me all about your little customs.
So you still remember her?
Only when you remind me. It's you I'm marrying.
Well done.
It's better, isn't it?
Well, now, I've got some very special news for you, young lady.
We're going to England.
Yes.
Oh, no, you're joking.
No?
When?
Well, as soon as I can arrange it, probably the middle of December.
But how are we going?
We'll go from here to Boulogne to Folkestone, and then I'll hire a car and we'll drive right up through the middle of England. We'll stop off overnight somewhere. I thought perhaps Leamington Spa or Stratford-on-Avon. How does that sound?
Wonderful. Then I'll be with Emil for Christmas.
Take me home.
Keir! Keir! Ellie! Wait, you sweat! Oh, heck. Sure. You can go on a fair lick, can't you?
Can't wait to get away from the place.
What do you come back for then if you can't wait to get rid?
I'm only visiting.
Yeah, I can see that.
I've been having a chat with that new convener of yours.
Oh, Jackie McGibbon. Hey, he's a good one, isn't he?
Is he? I haven't made my mind up yet.
Oh, you watch. He'll make them offices hotter than number 2 furnace. They'll see where they get with their chopping and changing. Nationalisation one minute, bosses back the next. They're going to get a fight on their hands, you'll see.
Now, this is the piece I've outlined in blue. Now, if we had that, we'd have access to the road on the south side. If we ever wanted to... Afternoon, Mr. Richard.
Afternoon, Armitage. Could you leave me for just a quiet moment with Mr. Warrington, if you don't mind?
Certainly, sir, certainly. Something wrong?
Quite the opposite. I thought I'd pop in and tell you how pleased I am.
Oh. Well, that's nice to hear.
Especially with the demolition work. It's always a tricky business at the best of times, but I thought you handled that last batch rather well.
Yes, they did go quite smoothly.
Good. Well, that's it then. I didn't get rid of Armitage for any fell purpose, you understand. It's just that I wanted you to know that I'm fully aware where the bright ideas are coming from.
Oh, well, that's nice of you to say so, Richard.
Pretty big business now, the estate side. Well, keep up the good work.
Yes, right.
Family all well?
Fine, thanks.
Good.
Oh, excuse me. It's all right, Paula. Major Bell's just waiting for Richard. Would you like a cup of tea?
Oh, no, thank you. I never drink tea in the afternoon. The army tends to lead one away from such effete practices.
Oh, come now. Only as far as the gin and bitters.
Which you must admit is a step in the right direction.
Would you like one?
Oh, no, thank you, really.
If you don't want me for anything.
No, nothing at the moment, thank you. I may need 1 or 2 things from the village later on if you're going in. Will you be in the flat?
Yes, I'll be in the flat.
I'll bring you.
Can I take that from you?
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Charming girl.
Yes. We're very lucky.
Oh, what are you doing here?
What am I doing here?
Yes, you. Du bist unersättlich, du. You lass me los. No. Nein. No. No, I may have to go to the village. Or the telephone may ring. My mistress may want to. Who used to be your mistress?
Listen, you. Don't bring your decadent German ways round here. Less of this immoral talk in front of your future husband.
My future husband who was immoral.
I see. And you're going to hold it against me for the rest of my life, are you? That is all behind me.
Yes, but can I ever be sure?
Do you want to be sure?
No. She knows you come here. I said she knows you come here.
I heard what you said.
Where did you leave the car?
Off the road. I walked from there. I cut down some branches, I covered it. It'll never ever be found again.
Why do you tease me?
Because I'm frightened of you.
And you are right to be. Yes? Oh, it's quite all right. Well, if you wait a moment, I will get a pencil and paper. No.
Hello, Ross.
Oh, hello, Blake. I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Oh, I'm very well. Paula and I have got some news for you, and we thought you ought to be the first to know. We're getting married on the 19th.
Of this month? But that's next week.
Is that when it is? Well, if you say so, that's when it is.
I hope you'll be very happy.
Oh, I'm sure we will be. Not very rich, mind you, but happy. After all, money isn't everything, is it?
No. Look, I'm sorry to appear rude. Is Paula there? I am in rather a rush.
Yeah, of course you are. She's here.
Hello? Thank you very much. Yes, I hope so too. Yes, I have here. Yes. Yes. Hundreds and thousands? Oh! Oh, yes, yes. Right. Is that all? Yes, thank you again. Goodbye. You really are a little boy. When I marry, I will have 2 little boys.
Really?
Really? Why did you tell her?
Why not?
You mustn't let women hurt you.
What makes you think women hurt me?
From now on, I will be the only one to hurt you, and I will do it very gently. And on Sunday, we go to Windermere and pick up Emil, yes?
Right.
And then we spend Christmas together.
Hey, don't forget, there's an important event before then.
I know. You know, it's crazy, but I'm quite looking forward to being your wife.
You know, there is a lady in England. She's a member of your parliament. She knows about Paula and Emil.
Well, have you tried to contact her?
No, she's of the government.
Oh.
Well, it's very unwise to talk to people of the government.
You see, there's still one thing that worries me. Is why your sister-in-law didn't get your letters. I mean, if she'd left the district, surely she'd have a forwarding address.
Oh, perhaps not. Maybe she didn't like the English people. She could have just packed her bags, taken Emil, and gone to some other place.
Yes, but wouldn't she have written to you?
You have never been to East Germany. The security police open many letters and destroy them. Also, she could have written to my first apartment in East Berlin. You see, when I moved from there was trouble. So I did not say where I was going.
Ah, we'll find him. It'll be a treasure hunt.
Treasure hunt? Yes, that's what it is. I like it.
It's a very small country. There can't be very many 9-year-old German boys there. No, we'll find him. We'll stop off at your lake house, and if we don't get any answer there, we'll go on up to Glasgow.
You mean to your house?
Oh, no, I'm selling my house. We'll stay at my sister's.
Oh. Is the house unhappy for you? They tell me your husband died.
My husband was a sergeant in the 2nd Cameronians. His Bren gun carrier ran over the only mine that they hadn't found in this town. That was the day the war ended. So I came out to find his grave, and I thought, oh, well, might as well stay on here and help, so I joined the League. But you see, there was something else that I wanted to do. I wanted to find out why. I wanted to find out why people kill each other. I mean, we believe what we're told. If we don't know from our own experience, we believe what we're told. Now, we were told that the Germans were terrible people. Now, we believe that. It's just like you believed in Hitler and Goebbels.
That's true. I remember, I was only a young girl, but I remember there were pictures in our newspapers of Germans who they told us had escaped from Sudetenland. They were bleeding, they'd been beaten by the Czechs, many had died, So they told us. So we began to hate the Czechs. We wanted them there too.
Ihr Auto ist hier.
Danke. Come on. Let's leave all this behind.
You know I'm frightened.
You mustn't be.
Hey, where's your teapot go?
Leave it on side, I'll see to it.
Well, what do you think to it?
It's about the decorating in that front bedroom.
Yeah, I never knew you had it in him.
Neither did I. Never lifted a finger at home.
Well, I had a stupid sister to do all the donkey work at home, didn't I?
Oh, well, you've got a wife now.
Eh, nay, she has to go out to work to support him.
Oh, hear that, Mark?
What?
Great institutions, families, aren't they? Make you feel really good.
And don't talk to me after all the decorating you've done. I used to use you as a shining example. I'm not the only helpless husband round here, I'd say. Kier's just as bad as me. And now look at you.
Sorry.
Come on then, useless Eustace. Let's see if you can put your son and heir to bed without dropping him.
Hey, why didn't you bring him with you?
Oh, couldn't drag him away from his grandmother.
Oh, he's Beth up here then.
Till Christmas. She's staying with us.
What time does the boss get in?
Martha isn't the boss, I am. She supports me.
How much longer are you going to let her do that?
Not much longer.
Oh.
And keep your nose out.
What do you mean, not much longer? Is something happening?
Just keep your nose out. You'll know soon enough and no sooner.
Come on, Mark, we'll get nothing here. They wouldn't be living here if it wasn't for us. He doesn't know what gratitude is. Ta-ra, Dad.
Ta-ra. Give that lad a big hug from his granddad.
I will. He'll get nothing from his Uncle Keir, though.
Thanks.
Bye.
See ya.
Well, there's something happening on the right in front. What's new politics when it's at home?
It's a new monthly. It's going to be good. They've got some great people.
Well, they want you. An article a month for the first 12 months? Well, they're committing themselves, aren't they?
Well, they like what I've done for Tribune.
What's Martha think about it?
She's pleased. Didn't kick her legs in the air, but then she never does. Thing is, I think they'll want me down in London permanent. How do you think she'll take to that?
Well, lad, she's your wife.
Come on, she talks about me to you more than she does to me.
Well, that's because we've both got your interests at heart.
Yes, I know. I'm grateful. How do you think she'll take to it?
Hey, lad. Well, she's ambitious for you, I know that, but... Well, I don't know. I know what your man would have done. She'd have followed me to Timbuktu. She'd have packed the suitcases and bought the train tickets and thought out about it. Women are different nowadays, though.
Oh, that's a great help.
I'll tell you one thing. I wouldn't like to be in your shoes if you don't make a go of it. She'll lead your dog's life.
I'll deserve it, won't I?
Yes, you will. Hey, is that the time? I said I'd keep an eye on the club while Ted Marshall's away. You coming down for one?
If you insist. Are you buying?
That, German woman lives in the house with you, does she?
Yes, there's a flat upstairs. She has that. Why, are you interested?
Oh, that, she is very attractive.
With a lover, I'm sorry to have to tell you. I'm afraid you're rather late in the game.
A rich lover?
Not yet, but he will be. Capitalist scions of socialist houses tend to become very rich indeed.
Oh, he's that one. The one with the boy.
That's the chap.
Gets about a bit, doesn't he? Your wife was telling me about him.
Yes, she knows him rather better than I do. Well, sorry I was late.
Oh, nothing important. Just popped in to thank you for your invitation. I thought I might bring a couple of friends along with me, if I may. Lord Threlkeld and Tommy Barclay. Could be very useful.
By all means, bring them along. Well, here's to Monday. The end of nationalisation and a return to sanity for the British steel industry.
Monday.
Monday. Are you busy for the next hour or so?
Why?
little visit I'd like to make. I think you might find it interesting.
What now?
Yes. Why not?
Look, I'll tell you what. My wife goes round to assistance Wednesday afternoon. Now, if I change my shift, you can come round to our place.
Oh, well, I suppose your missus finds out.
Oh, she knows I'm after you. Oh, I told her straight. I said, you book your ideas up, woman, or I'll kick you out and pitch that young Martha Haywood off that dreamy husband of hers.
I hope you did, you silly devil.
I'm not that daft. No, it's like the woman sings on the wireless. It's a secret love.
Oh. We better not tell that dreamy husband of mine then, had we?
Oh, aye. You always come at the wrong time, you. I get on smashing and all.
Always the way, innit?
Any trouble?
No, only from him.
Never mind, Chuck. I'll have you one of these days.
Thought you were staying in.
I was. He had to drag me out.
We're celebrating his news.
Oh, the articles. Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Told you, she can't contain herself.
It's your due. You've earned it. I get excited about something you've earned.
Well, what do they want?
Well, they said they want to come in and as your acting steward while Ted's off.
Here, hang on a minute.
What's that all about?
Who is it? It's Mr. Warrington.
Cheeky bastard.
No.
What can I get you, gentlemen?
No, please. Thank you. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening. Oh, I beg your pardon. Ladies and gentlemen. It's very nice of you to have me here in your club. Thank you. I simply wanted the opportunity to tell those of you who will be working for me on Monday, either in the mine or the ironworks, how delighted I am to be working alongside you in a primary rather than a secondary role. As you know, from next week, the mine and the ironworks will be under one ownership. And many of the obstacles between ourselves and success will be removed. There is no reason why, with your support, the two companies cannot look forward to a prosperous and happy future. And now, if you will allow me, I'd like to buy you all a drink.
We're all right for drinks, thank you, Mr. Warrington. We've got us on.
Good. A very happy state to be in. Long may it continue. The time comes when every glass is empty, as we all know too well, so if you will allow me, I'd like to buy you the next. Let me know if that doesn't cover it. Thank you. Good night.
Stick it in the fighting fund, George.
Yes, it was quite an enjoyable experience. They had no idea how to take it.
I'm not surprised. I don't think Daddy ever went to their club and offered them a drink.
Oh, I'm sure he didn't. He was far too gentlemanly. Whereas my father, yes, he would have been proud of me. Divide and rule. You know, when I offered them the drink, there were one or two quite definite murmurs of approval. Yes, a seed was definitely planted. So a few of the workforce might be tempted to think of me as not such a bad fellow after all.
Whereas in reality...
See what he's up to now? Typing letters for the club when he should be getting on with his articles.
Dad, shut her up, will you?
I wouldn't dare.
No, neither would you.
It's not for the club. It's for the local constituency party, of which I happen to be secretary. There's a big difference.
I know what the difference is.
She's just seeing if we'd notice.
One goes with the other, you see, love. By being secretary, he gets the subject matter for his articles.
No, he doesn't. He gets second-hand opinions from all them dead legs propping up the bar. He's got opinions of his own.
You had a spell of this with my mother, didn't you? Every damn thing I do's wrong.
Why don't you write about what happened yesterday? The boss trying to buy his workers off with a pint of bitter each. He didn't bring champagne, did he? I'll have from the brewery was telling me 20 cases of champagne went up to Lake House for his party. Didn't bring any to the Working Men's Club, did he?
The lads wouldn't have thanked him for it if he had.
Be nice to be offered.
Yeah, she's right, you know. It's what it's all about.
I know, she's right. She's never wrong. Blast and set fire to her.
You wouldn't think so to hear the arguments.
No, I haven't come to see you. I want to have a word with you.
Oh, really? Is there something I can get you, Beth? A drink?
No, thank you.
Please, do sit down. Well, cheers.
I don't usually take any notice of rumours unless they're likely to become the kind of fact that it would be dangerous to ignore at the rumour stage.
Yes, I think I understand that. I don't know where it's leading, but I understand the premise.
Rumour has it that you intend to run down the ironworks, that you intend to close certain unprofitable areas, and that you intend to prune the workforce in others.
I wouldn't have chosen those words, but then I'm a businessman, not a political animal. I'm not terribly good at emotive rhetoric.
Is it the case? Because if it is, I shall do everything in my power to stop you. I have a responsibility as the member
Yes,
of
Beth,
Parliament.
I'm well aware who you are and where your responsibility lies.
Are you? My responsibility lies with my constituents, most of whom have spent their lives in the industry, many of whom will shortly be working for you. I want them to go on working.
For me?
For anyone, as long as they can work safely and securely. We know what unemployment means in this town. We're not going to go back to those days.
But the trade unions will make sure of that, and I don't blame them for it. What I do blame them for is using their power, the power that your party lavishes on them, to emasculate our industry. To keep full employment not in the furtherance of a sound economy, but at its expense.
Whose economy? The Tory economy? That is a chestnut, Richard.
Is it? Well, let me tell you
Don't you
something.
think it's about
Did you
time
come
that
here
these...
to listen as well as lecture?
Yes, indeed. I think I'm doing rather well.
Well, do better. Listen a little more. The British steel industry has got 3, 4, maybe 5 good years ahead. After that, when we've reached some kind of saturation point, it's going to be every man for himself. Now, I intend to be fit for that race when it comes, Beth. I want to get rid of every ounce of surplus flesh. I don't want to preside over an overmanned industry that just can't compete. But give you and your trade unions their head, and that is precisely what will happen.
When that race comes, Richard, you won't be there. We will be back in control.
Perhaps, maybe, and then you can make your own mistakes, as most assuredly you will. But I'm telling you how I intend to run that industry until the wreckers do move back. Look, recently I was in Germany, and I can tell you now that in 5 years, less even, they could leave us far behind. And God help us if the Japanese decide to take up steelmaking in any big way. We're in a race, Beth, and we've got to be ready for that race. I said steelmaking. It isn't steelmaking. It's steelmaking and steel selling. Any fool can make steel, but it's far from easy to sell it in a declining market, particularly if your labor costs are sky high because of overmanning.
And your profits are not sky high? You people have been milking the industry for years, and now you refuse to feed either the industry or the people. There are such things as subsidies, Richard, and we intend to subsidize labor-intensive industries. Steel is not the most important commodity in this town. A job is the most important commodity. You cut back the jobs and you will have a fight in your hands, and not just from me.
Leading the troops into battle, are we?
I don't want to see this town split from top to bottom. Nobody wants industrial action less than I do.
Nobody wants it, Beth, but we go on having it. And please, do say strikes if you mean strikes. Industrial action means nothing. It's just a euphemism for industrial inaction. Tell me, Beth, hand on heart, how much are you motivated by the needs of your constituents? And how much by that unquenchable desire to bring this government down?
As far as I'm concerned, the two are the same thing.
I hope you don't mean that.
Oh, yes, I do.
Mother-in-law, I wouldn't put anything past you bloody politicians. Can we go?
Oh, just a moment.
You never make this much fuss for me.
You don't care. You spoil my makeup.
We're only going to pick Emil up from school. Come.
Yes, but I want to look good for him.
Just like a mother.
Well, I feel like a mother. He has no one else. He needs me.
He'd better get used to sharing you.
From the look on your face, you should be in that thing.
No good ever came of this sort of thing.
Look, saying out in this life, I don't think you're happy.
Who says we're not?
Well, if you feel like that, what are you doing here helping?
Look, I'm in the union and I'm following the union, but it don't mean to say I have to agree with everything it does. And I'm telling you, this'll do now.
Ah, here they all are. All set to march with us then, Keir?
Aye, of course I am.
What about us MP? Will she be there?
She'll be there, don't fret yourself.
Why don't we ask Richard Warrington, seeing he wants to join club? Are you sure you won't come? Bryant's would be delighted to see you.
Well, how can I? The caterers are due in a minute. I don't leave them to it.
Couldn't Paula supervise?
If she were here, she could. She's gone to pick up a meal from school.
Oh, with Blake Hayward, I presume. Cumberland's answer to Errol Flynn.
Are all the boys in your class going home for Christmas?
All the boys of my form, yes.
I'll bet you the teachers are glad of the rest.
Yes. Mr. Richardson, who teaches us mathematics, says he's glad that we all go, so he can have a peaceful Christmas.
Say that in German.
Herr Richardson.
No, I mean a peaceful Christmas.
Friedliches Weihnachten.
Friedliches Weihnachten. Amen.
Amen.
Turn on your left.
Thank you.
We're on the right road.
I do wish you were coming. Don't be ridiculous, Ross. I'm the Socialist MP for this area. It's my constituents who are marching tonight, and I'm marching with them. Can you see me drinking champagne with Major Bell? Can't you forget politics and be my mother for a night? It isn't a question of politics. It's a question of everything that matters to me in life. You're married, you've got a home of your own. Mark is married with a family. This is my life now. When you really need me, I'll be there. Yes, I know, and I'm very proud of you. I enjoy telling people that my mother's an MP, especially a socialist one. That way they know you can't have got in by privilege. Oh, I don't know. The Labour Party loves its aristocrats just as the Tories love their cloth cap. Aristocrat? Well, hardly. But I was quite a cat. This is my mother. I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch your name.
It's McAllister, Sally McAllister. I've just come from Germany with a Frau Brandt, Frau Hertha Brandt. Do you know her?
Yes, of course.
Well, thank God for that. That's the first hurdle over. Well, I'm trying to trace her son Emil and a Mr. Blake Hayward and her sister-in-law, Fraulein Paula Brandt.
Yes, they're here.
Here?
Yes.
Muddy? It's muddy.
Herta?
Paula.
Will you be leading us to the town hall, Mrs. Warrington?
Well, if that's what you want, Mr. McGibbon.
Oh, indeed it is.
Martha, where is George?
Probably at home. Blake was taking Amy around to see him.
Well, Keir is doing a good job as secretary.
I'm glad somebody's happy.
Aren't you?
You really want to know?
Well, of course I want to know.
I think he could be spending his time better helping the working class with his articles and smoothing your life out for you.
Isn't that what he's doing? Smoothing my life out for me, helping the working class? I think the same way he does, you know.
How do you know how he thinks?
Because I've talked to him.
You've talked to him? When? 3 o'clock in the morning when he can't get his breath because of what furnaces have done to him. Is that when you've talked to him? Oh, Mrs. Warrington popped in to say how much she likes the way you do the secretary's job.
Oh, good.
Hey, Blake never turned up.
Trust Blake.
Ah, no, give him his due. If he says he'll do something, he usually does it.
George, can I have a quiet word? Blake is at Lake House.
What was he playing at? He said he was bringing the lad.
There's been an unexpected development. Herta's arrived.
Herta? What, the lad's mother?
Yes.
Nobody said. Nobody said she was coming.
Nobody knew. No, nobody knew.
How is she?
Oh, she's exhausted. It was such a shock, seeing Herta so suddenly.
Well, it was a shock for Herta, too. We hadn't expected to find you here.
Why not?
Well, I'd rather leave that for Herta to explain.
We haven't heard from her for so long.
Oh, she'll tell you what happened.
Can I go and see Mutti? No. No, darling, no. Your mother's asleep. She's very tired, so come and sit down with us, yes?
You'll stay for some supper, yeah?
No.
No, I insist. I mean, you'll be driving in the dark anyway. Unless you decide to change your mind, stay the night.
No, I better get on. But, well, I won't refuse something to eat.
Come and help me in the kitchen, Emily, yes?
Is there anything I can do?
No.
Why didn't Herta write for so long?
I think you'll have to ask Herta that question yourself.
Am I right in what I'm thinking? She did write.
Mr. Hayward, it's not that I'm not concerned for you or for Herta. But if what we're both thinking is true, it's not for me to involve myself.
should be with them.
No, we shouldn't. We don't belong. I'm a manager, and I might not be that for much longer. Well, don't get too excited and keep your fingers crossed. There's a rumour going the rounds that Richard may announce a couple of new directorships tonight.
You?
The estate side's pretty big now. They need someone on the board who knows what it's all about.
And you think...
I'm not thinking anything. Just do as you're told and keep your fingers crossed.
We were united during the war under Church. What now?
Absolutely. We are one nation. No matter how hard the subversives may try to divide us apart. Thank you, madam.
Brothers and sisters, this is a week. Tomorrow marks a black day for the industry of this town. Once again, the Conservative Party has handed to the capitalists the opportunity to return to the bad old days of master and man, of exploitation of the worker, of excess profits, and the making of personal fortunes at the expense of your health and your well-being. It is up to us, comrades, every single one of us, to summon up our strength and deny them that opportunity.
That, believe it or not, came from a cabinet minister. Not, I hasten to add, of the present persuasion. Well, my dear friends, it really is a privilege to have you with us here tonight to celebrate the return to sanity of the British steel industry. Released from the shackles, and I speak as someone who has served under both systems, released from the shackles of nationalisation, there is no reason why we cannot go on to make Whitstanton one of the happiest and most prosperous towns in the country. That is certainly our aim. Productivity, I'm happy to tell you, is on the upturn. My dear wife, Ros, will be bringing out a brand new Warrington model during 1954. What the precise specifications will be, I'm not quite sure. But at least one union around here can't be accused of restrictive practices. Now, just one more item of news. As you know, from next week, the Whitstanton Mining Company and the Warrington Ironworks will fight under one banner, operate under the watchful eyes of one board of directors, of which I have the honour to be chairman. Complacency, I can assure you, will not be one of our faults. My colleagues and I are always seeking to widen and broaden the experience of the board, to bring on people with old loyalties and new ideas. And so it is with the greatest of pleasure that I have to tell you that in addition to Tommy Lockhart, who is away in the States at the moment and will join us on his return, an invitation has been extended to and accepted by another old friend. Naturally, he will take part in all our discussions, but his chief responsibility will be the company estates. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Bell. He's a good... He's
coming.
Oh, he will catch cold. He has no coat.
Oh, no, Paula, he won't catch cold. You've made him into a strong boy. You won't catch cold, Emile, will you?
No, there are a lot of people at the big house.
Mr. Warrington is having a party. Now you go upstairs and unpack your clothes, yes, like a good boy. And then you have to go to sleep.
Must I make tea?
You hear what Tante Paula says. Now, come on.
Will you come up to see me?
Of course I will.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
He's a lovely wee boy.
That's because of Paula. She's looked after him so very well. You don't know how good it is to be here.
We have with us tonight our Member of Parliament, who knows full well the feelings of you all. She was elected by you to serve the best interests of the community. And this she will do. But what happens at Westminster is not enough. It is up to us all, every brother and every sister here, who believes in the dignity of work and the equality of man, to be vigilant and to fight. A fight for the day when once again you will be in control of your industry, your future, your destiny.
I got a farm up in Fours at the end of Milham Road, and then march through the town, past the steelworks, and back to the club on Dawes Lane. Oh, and those of you with banners and posters, see them stacked away safely on the club premises. And before you go, brothers and sisters, put your hands together for Jackie McGibbon. Thank you, brother.
Your thumb's a fair top, doesn't he, McGibbon?
Yeah, well, you want to get home and get it written down before you forget.
I only know half of it, though, don't I? God, I'd love to have been a fly on the wall at the other place.
Hey, what other place?
Lake House. Bet they weren't talking about the dignity of work.
Ask Peg, she'll tell you.
It's not worth worrying about.
Oh, no, it's not that. It's just this damn headache.
We'll be better at home.
Yes. I wish to God I was the man everybody thinks I am. I wish to God I didn't care.
It's over a year since I haven't heard from you, Paula. You didn't get my letters?
No.
Well, maybe the secret police took them. But I don't understand. You see, some of them I wrote when I was already in the West. After I crossed the border when I was still in hospital. These two you didn't get.
Well, I'll say my goodbyes.
Thank you for all you have done. It's hard for me to say how much I owe to you.
Now, you will write.
Yes, I will. Cute.
Why? Why?
I wanted you.
You destroyed her letters, didn't you? You pretended she didn't care anymore.
I wanted you.
A year ago?
It was the boy you wanted, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
Du hast aber ein schönes Schlafzimmer.
What I have told you.
Ah, yes, I forgot, sorry. Mr. Thompson says you must always speak in English.
Yes.
Emil, did Tante Paula read my letters to you?
No.
Well, at the time of your birthday, I sent my love to you. Did she not tell you that?
No. I was here on holiday, and a letter came with a German stamp. And I thought it was from you, but Tante Paula said it was not.
I see. Well, go to sleep now.
I know why you are here.
Why?
You are here for the wedding. Tante Paula says I must say nothing, but that is why you are here, yes?
Yes.
Mutti, why will my father marry Tante Paula when you are my mother?
Well, just go to sleep now.
Martha's worried about you. That's great. I love that. She hates my guts, but she's worried about me. Mum would have loved that, real Christian. Bless them that despise you. Be good unto them that distastefully use you.
All right. I'm worried about you.
It's an accident of nature that made us brothers. It's nothing to worry about. It's in your blood. It runs in families.
Don't drive.
Let me take you. Take me where? Home. Where's that? Where Dad lives, you mean? I think Dad's had enough, don't you? Especially of me. You know what I'd do if I was Dad? I'd say, sod off. Sod off and leave me in peace.
Blake, don't drive.
Yeah. Sod off. A waste of time, he wouldn't listen.
I didn't expect he would. What, are you going back in the meeting?
No, they'll be knocking off in a minute or two.
He'll be all right. It's not the first time he's gone out beer drunk. Who were you talking to on the telephone? Half an hour ago. Tickled your neck as I passed, you didn't even notice.
Oh, yeah. I was talking to that bloke on New Politics, like he asked me to in his letter.
What, that time of night?
Where he lives, not his office.
It's all right still, isn't it? Still wants you to write that stuff for him.
He wants more than that.
More?
He wants me on the paper full time. It'd mean living in London.
You're kidding?
I told him there wasn't much chance.
You told him what?
No, you don't want to live in London,
Well,
do you?
that's a fine time to ask me, isn't it, when you've told him we don't?
I didn't say we wouldn't. I said there wasn't much chance. I said we'd think about it. Anyway, I've got to go and see him next week about the other stuff. You don't want to live in London, do you?
Yeah.
Oh.
1 for and 1 against, is it? What should we do, toss for it?
We'll drop it for now, but we'll have a chat.
Hey, what happened to you?
I fetched him out to see to Blake.
Was he drunk?
That's a masterpiece of understatement.
I thought he might be heading in that direction. 2 women. One that bore his child, the other is about to wed. And they happen to be sisters-in-law. And then there's the lad, torn between all 3 of them.
Why don't you sit in this chair by the fire? It's very comfortable.
I've been months in bed in hospital. To stand is a nice change. You seem to have made a life here for yourself.
A life? Yes, I suppose you could say I've made a life for myself.
That's good.
Is it?
I married Helmut to survive, to make a life for myself and Emil. In what was left in Germany after the war. And before that, I did other things to survive. Things I would not like to speak of which I am ashamed.
For some of us, the war has never ended. And for some of us, it never will. It will go on in what we do, in what we are, in what we dream.
Yes. For some of us, it will be so.
Is Blake as you remember him?
I first met Blake when I had no one in this world. My husband was dead, my father was not to be found. Blake became my hope. Then he left for England and the Russians came. Then your brother became my hope. We pass from one to the other, like possessions.
Sometimes, to be a possession is good. To be cared for. To be enjoyed.
Excuse me. Can I have a drink of water, please?
You will have to ask your mother now.
Following the Big Three conference with Sir Winston Churchill and French Premier Joseph Laniel aboard. Travelling with them are Mr. Eden and other members of the British...
I sent your babysitter home.
...which discussed future policies with President Eisenhower and Chief American...
I just popped in for a nightcap on my way home. Demonstrations depress me, I don't know why. How was yours?
Oh, not very clever, actually.
Oh?
Why don't you stay the night?
Good heavens, it's only 10 minutes' drive.
Oh, well, the spare bed was slept in the night before last. The blankets are in the airing cupboard. It only needs making.
We can all get roaring drunk.
Ah, speaking as a responsible member of Parliament...
Yeah, well, I wouldn't vote for anyone who didn't get smashed at least once in their life.
Oh, well, if you put it like that, I'll have a large scotch for starters.
Oh, well, I'll get the bed made and then it's done.
No, I'll do that. It weighs a ton and you've got to pull it away from the wall to make it proper.
Oh, when did you make a bed properly?
I do my best, don't I?
Do you know where the sheets are?
Of course I know where the sheets are.
Thank you for staying.
It's a pleasure. The fire will probably be out at home. In the old days, Roz was usually there and it was nice and warm and cosy. Now there's nobody there all week when I'm away in London. I have nobody to make my bed. Thank you.
Oh, I think he wants me to tell you. Richard's let him down.
Well, that was bound to happen sooner or later. Go on.
Mark was expecting a directorship. Director in charge of estates. What he's doing now, in fact, but without the kudos. Richard announced at the do tonight that it's going to Major Bell.
Did Richard know that Mark was expecting it?
Oh, he must have done.
Well, he might have broken it to him gently beforehand.
He was right, though, wasn't he? Not to put Mark on the board.
Because Mark isn't up to that sort of job, you mean?
Oh, I kept thinking how odd it was that someone as astute as Richard could imagine... Oh, I mean... I assumed he'd said something to make Mark believe.
Did he?
I don't know. It was the way he did it, knowing. Oh, you won't ever tell Mark I thought he wasn't right for the job, will you?
Of course not.
You know, in a funny sort of way, it's what makes Mark wrong for that position. Because that's all it is. He can do the work. It's that not fitting in. Sort of shyness in a way that made me want to marry him.
His personality problem.
I suppose so.
What will he do now, do you think?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not going to say anything this time. Oh, I know what I want him to do. Oh, I'm always chipping in, putting in my own haypith, as Dad'd say. This time I want to leave it to him.
So what do you think you're doing, Roz? I've had to leave Belle and the others twiddling their thumbs to come after you.
Don't they have homes to go to?
You know damn well some of them are staying the night.
Well, I did, but I forgot, actually. Sorry about that. I'm not usually given to impulsive acts. How did you know I'd come here?
The obvious place, isn't it?
Home to mother when the marriage goes wrong.
What are you talking about? The marriage isn't going wrong.
Isn't it?
For God's sake, what have I done now?
Nothing that offends your own code of conduct. I'm sure... In fact, in most respects, you were probably justified.
In doing what?
Not giving Mark the job he was obviously expecting.
I see. He told you he was expecting it, did he?
No. Didn't even enter my mind until I saw his face when you made the announcement. It wasn't even the fact that he didn't get the directorship he was obviously expecting that upset me. It was a callous way you made him aware of the fact.
I didn't know he was expecting it.
Oh, come on now.
Look, I didn't know. There were one or two moments when I thought he would have liked a directorship, but he's just wrong for the board. And I gave him credit for having enough personal insight to see that. Anyway, I can't go into all that now. We have to get back. I made an excuse for you. I said a friend had had an accident. They're bound to ask, so you'd better invent something on the way back.
And I'm coming back, of course.
Roz, please.
Things Mummy used to say which didn't register at the time are beginning to make a lot of sense these days.
Oh, what things did she say?
About women needing more satisfaction in life than trotting along behind some man. Especially the kind of man who thinks he has a God-given right to be served.
And you're suggesting that I fall into that category?
Well, if the cap fits. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Blake?
Are we going to be here all night?
So, how much are they going to pay for this job then?
Haven't discussed sordid things like money.
Well, you'd better do, because if you don't, I will.
It'll be a lot more expensive in London.
You'll have to make more then, won't you?
I'm not doing it for the money beyond what we need to live.
You get what you're worth. I second thought you better get what I think you're worth. I know your opinion of yourself.
I'm not the only pebble on the beach.
There you go, you see, you're running yourself down.
I'm not running myself down. And think of half a dozen blokes could do the job as well as I can.
In your opinion?
In my humble opinion.
You're going to raise every obstacle you can against getting this job, aren't you?
You wouldn't want me to do it if I didn't want to, would you?
Come on, let's get home.
Would you?
You don't know what you do want, you. You blame everything on the war.
The war gave us expectations of something better. It's the peace that lets us down.
It's you that let yourself down. Life gives you nothing for expectations. It gives you what you hold in your hand.
What time is it?
Going on one.
Did you come back before?
I called him. You were still at the club.
Oh, you left the light on. How are you?
Kier'll have told you how I am.
I shouldn't have gone to that meeting. I should have carried on talking things over with you. I've spent too much of my life putting other people's backyards in order.
I'm tired, Dad.
All right. We'll talk in the morning then.
I mean, I'm tired inside. I'm tired in the bone.
Tired of life? Is that what you mean?
I'm tired of running round in bloody circles. I'm bored. I got lost on the way somewhere.
On the way to where? Where was it you set out for?
I don't know that anymore. I used to know when I was a lad before the war. The ironworks. I wanted to be like you.
That's not much of an ambition.
You undervalue yourself. You're more respected round here than men at the top of the tree.
Yeah, well, I never wanted to get to the top of a tree. No head for heights, I reckon. You've got a lad of your own now.
He belongs with his mother.
You used to think you belonged with her. You went back to Germany to try to be with her.
I'm not the man she knew in Germany.
You're the father of her child.
Yeah, well, that doesn't count. I mean, it doesn't count the way things were. You weren't there at the end of the war. You don't know what it was like. It wasn't a real world. It was bigger than life. When I took my uniform off, I shrank to life size.
Now he's undervaluing himself.
It's true. That's what she sees now.
But she'll need you now, the state she's in, well, from what you've said. If it's what she wants, will you wed her?
If it's what she wants.
Blake is here.
Oh, he's coming here?
No, he's gone to the house. Don't you want to see him?
Of course I do. But I'm going out now. You don't mind if Emil stays with you?
He stayed with me for quite some time already.
I'm sorry, Paula. I came here for my son, and I forget that to you he must also have become a son.
It was best he went away to school. I was growing too fond of him, perhaps. Time goes by and you have no children of your own. I'm not trying to make excuses.
Excuses for what?
You've been here a week now, and I've tried to tell you. I've tried.
Yes.
Beth is here.
You've missed it.
It'd be running an hour early if I had. I'd rather wait in here than in that fridge they call the waiting room.
Did you turn the oven off?
I remembered to eat what was in it and all.
And you'll get something when you get to London.
Yes. You're as bad as my mother. I used to get nagged to death about food when I came home on leave. Never a word about what it's like flying a bomber over Hamburg with the flak coming up.
I know what it's like in London.
You think you do. From 2-day trips, you mean. Anyway, I'm coming back tomorrow, for God's sake. Why do you want to live there if you think it's that bad?
I'll be there to keep an eye on you. Anyway, I'll have to get on. We're open. Oh, I nearly forgot. There's somebody in here asking about it. He's waiting for Thomas's taxis to take him to the Warringtons.
Good heavens.
You know then?
He was in the army with Blake, brought powder and the kid over from Germany.
Well, you better take this and keep him company, ain't you?
Aye. You're back then.
Okay. How are you?
Well,
I'm surprised you remember me.
of course I remember you. We had an argument once. You never did finish it.
Oh, I don't remember an argument. A slight difference of opinion, possibly.
Oh, I was hoping you were looking for me to carry it on.
I was looking for a taxi, actually.
Taxi? Really?
They told me to speak to Mrs. Hayward, that very nice lady at the bar over there.
My wife.
Yes. Congratulations.
Will you see Blake?
Yes, I'm sure I will. How is he?
All right. Emil's mother's here from Germany.
Yes, I know.
Do you still live there?
Yes, I do.
Why?
I never really came back from the war. I lived in East Germany for a time.
Got out while the going was good.
Some people might think so. I didn't like the way things were going there, as a matter of fact.
Well, you see, that's the problem with you upper crust, left-wing intellectuals. Revolution's never quite what it seemed in the books.
You wouldn't have found it a problem, then?
I'd have known roughly what to expect.
You've been there, I take it? We seem to be having that slight difference of opinion again.
Yeah, you seem to be winning.
You're going to London, your wife tells me.
Interview for a job.
Oh, what line?
Writing. New political weekly.
My God. You'll be a middle-class left-wing intellectual with a vengeance when you get mixing with that lot. I would have thought you'd have stayed with your chums in the proletariat.
It's an interview. I haven't said I'll take it.
I wouldn't have thought you'd even have considered it.
Well, there's not just me to be considered, is there?
When would you want to know? Well, Christmas is nearly on us. What about the first of next year? That's always a good time to make a new start. I'll let you know. Off with the old and on with the new. That's what they say, isn't it? That's what they say. All the best. Goodbye.
What did Blake want?
Oh, business, my dear, just business.
No pegs out shopping for Christmas. Well, I don't want it to know, you see. Well, not until something's settled anyway. What? Look, Father, I hope you don't think I'm ringing just because of this business with Richard. I'll understand if there's nothing you can do. Why should you, anyway?
Why didn't you want your friend to come to the flat? Or shouldn't I ask?
You know about Paula. Blake and Paula.
Yes.
She destroyed the letters I sent.
It must make it very difficult for you to stay there under the circumstances.
Yes. Even though I understand. It is difficult.
Blake thought you were dead.
Without my friend Waters, I would have been dead, perhaps. I understand he's a friend of yours also?
I came up with him when he brought Paula and Emil here.
If I go back to Germany, I think he will help us.
Is that what you want?
Yes. If Emil also wants it.
Have you asked him?
I've only been here 1 week. I want to know what it is he wants himself. If I ask him, he might say what he thinks I want him to say. So I hope he will tell me before it is necessary to ask.
That's it. How are you? How's the leg?
Oh, so. My English gentleman.
It's very good to see you.
only called in to use your loo.
Roz, don't be so bitter, I'm not.
You don't think he's going to apologise, do you?
Oh, I don't expect an apology as such. I think he just popped in to show there are no hard feelings.
With nothing said. Just by making his gracious presence felt.
When he'd say something, I'm sure he will.
You're very hurt, really, aren't you?
It hurts me more to hear you talking about him like this. Whatever my feelings may be, you're married to him, Roz, for the rest of your life.
Am I?
You're not a lip-serving Catholic like me. You're the real thing. You only gave up Blake because he wouldn't become a Catholic.
Maybe. Well, suppose I stopped being a Catholic.
You couldn't. And anyway, you're having a baby. Richard wouldn't give you a divorce, not in 1,000 years. You must know that.
He's up to something with Blake. It's business, he says, but... Oh, I don't know. He's got a thing about Blake and me. He's very suspicious of me, you know. I'm not the child, you idiot. You know me better than that, I hope. No, it's what goes on in my head that nags at him.
And what does go on in your head?
Well, time we were off.
And that's an order. You sure you've nothing else to say?
I assume you've said it all already, haven't you?
Yes. I think I probably have.
If he's got any doubts about going to live in London, they're not connected with me, you know.
You gave me that impression.
Well, you were wrong. What about you?
I think it's what he needs. And I'm going to see he goes, whether he wants to or not. Whatever other considerations might seem to get in the way.
You know, I wish his mother had known you better. She'd have been at peace. You're exactly what she would have wanted for him. She'd have been as chuffed as little mint balls, as she used to say.
Thanks.
What for?
For telling me.
Oh. Yeah, the question is, if it's not you and it's not me that's holding him back, what the hell is it?
Any ideas?
I might have. You always think you know all about them, and they never stop surprising you. When's he due back?
Early tomorrow.
I'll seek him out, give him a kick up the backside.
Bless you.
There's Blake.
All right. Well.
Better get back to the club.
Oh, sorry. I can disappear in a puff of smoke if you want me to.
Hey! Thanks.
For what?
For telling me.
I'll be at the club if you want me.
What's she got against you?
Her nature.
You've chirped up a bit.
I think my ship's come in. Richard Warrington sent for me. Now that they're denationalising road transport, he's running down his haulage fleet, using private contractors. He's ready to back me with a loan and a contract.
And what have you told him?
I told him I'd think about it. There's only one answer, isn't there?
You want to read that contract very carefully before you jump in. He'll have you tied up always if I know aught about him.
Dad, what else have I got? I'll never get the yard off the ground unless I have some help. What can I offer Emil unless I jump at a chance like this? I'm going to marry Herta with a yard round my neck.
Is that what you want to do? Marry Herta?
Not a question of what I want to do. It's what I have to do. I came back from the war with a lot of expectations. I'll have to learn to live with less than I thought life owed me. Count me blessings. Lad of my own, wife I can respect, work to provide. That's all that most of the lads wanted after the war. It's not too late for me, is it, Dad?
That'll depend on her, won't it?
5 minutes, he says. That'll make it just an hour late.
To change at crew, he said.
You've not said anything at all about the interview?
No.
Good of you to come out this early.
It's no bother. You'll be worn out after travelling all night.
Do you know, it's just like Owen to go back to sleep when we bring him to see the train.
Oh, I'd better go and check that he is asleep.
Well, he won't wake up in the car once he's asleep. He never does.
I'll just go and check.
It's a good husband you've got.
I don't think I'd swap him. But don't tell him that.
The war doesn't seem to have unsettled him like it has done Keir.
Don't you believe it? He's terribly restless now. He was expecting promotion and he didn't get it. I don't think he knows what to do.
Sometimes they need a shove.
To shatter his confidence if he felt he needed a shove from me. He's not exactly brimming with it at the best of times.
I think we've had it round here.
You and Keir, or all of us?
All of us, I think. I can't see it changing much, and I don't care in London what happens to us down here.
I don't want to leave. I love it here.
I suppose I love it. I hate it and all. It's getting me down. I don't think I can stand it much longer.
I take it you're not coming to the yard this morning?
Nope. I thought I'd try and go up and see Herta.
Yeah, I thought you might. You know, you could get 4 lorries in that yard if you cleared it up. Oh, brilliant, mate. I love that one.
I thought you didn't want me to take Richard Warrington's money.
I was thinking, if he's willing to back him, maybe the bank will be too. And there's John Warrington. He wanted to set you up at one time.
Yeah, well, that was when he thought he was marrying his daughter. I didn't want to feel I was marrying money.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't mean now.
He's in the States.
Peg's in touch with him.
Still trying to sort things out for me. You make me feel ashamed.
I'm your father. No shame, no obligation.
Influence? I didn't know that I have any great influence with Roz.
You have your own experience of separation, divorce.
Do as I say, not as I did.
It must have been painful.
Oh, it was. But don't assume I regret it.
Don't you?
Very much, in some ways, very much. In other ways, no, quite definitely no. My father used to say I'm my own man. Well, I can say I'm my own woman and be just as proud of the fact.
Proud, perhaps, but what about happy?
Oh, there's a lot of unhappiness inside marriage. I don't know what Roz is feeling these days. She doesn't consult me to that extent anymore. I didn't want her to marry Blake Hayward. I tried not to influence her unduly, but maybe she took more notice of me than I knew.
You mean that's what she really wanted? Blake Hayward?
Religion was against her. And class. Powerful forces, Richard. But are we happy when we surrender?
You saw her marriage to me as a kind of surrender?
Yes, I did. And it worried me. It isn't the best of reasons for marriage, is it? Giving up the fight?
Got roses in your cheeks.
Have I?
Marriage suits you, huh?
Think so?
Glad I've seen you. I used to feel embarrassed about trying not to see you in case it embarrassed you. It's a bit difficult when you're living next door, more or less.
When is the wedding?
I don't know, it seems I'm not very good at weddings. Did I have fun while I lasted?
Yes, you were. Wouldn't have felt as guilty about it if you hadn't been. It's an awful waste of time.
No, far from it.
Glad about that.
Have a good Christmas if I don't see you before.
Yes. And you?
Message for your old man. Tell him thanks for his offer, but I'll not be taking him up.
Whitstanton 264? Oh, he's out. It's me, Peg. You sound awfully clear. Oh, I don't believe you're in New York. You're over here and you're pulling my leg. Oh, well, I wish you were. We miss you. He didn't tell me he'd rung you. Wait till he complains about the phone bill. Well, what did you want him for? Oh, heavens, you can tell me. You know I'm good at keeping secrets. Well, especially if it'll upset me. Hang on a minute. Speak to your grandson.
When did he come?
Yesterday. He would have come to see you, but we expected he would come here.
Yeah, well, I would sort myself out.
Oh? Was it difficult?
Well, that depends on you.
On me only?
More or less. I've come up.
Those letters I sent to Paula. She told no one.
Have you asked her?
No. But I've given her a chance to tell.
And she hasn't?
She is ashamed.
So she should be.
You condemn?
Yes, I do.
How can you condemn? You have been in Germany. You should know why German women are driven to do these things. You've seen. But you have not learned. She knew that one day I would come, that she would lose Emil. All she's got now is you.
That's off.
I thought you were to marry her.
I didn't know you were alive, even. I have to make a home for Emil. Things haven't gone too well for me these last couple of years. A chance came up yesterday. And even though I've got the incentive, I couldn't take it in the end. I couldn't bring myself to do the kind of crawling it would have meant.
What incentive?
Asking you to marry me.
Blake. It wouldn't work.
Why not?
All we have got is a son. He began with the peace. And we belong to the war. You and I.
It wasn't just that.
Maybe not, but most of it was that. We pretended it to be more because that's what you do when you wish to be civilized. To be more than the animal. To be a human being.
When's Attlee going to retire?
We need him to hold the party together. It was fighting between the factions that cost us the last election.
You're looking for excuses for your own shortcomings. You lost us the last election.
Well, we'd have done better to take your advice from Tribune, you think?
Of course, I wouldn't have given it if I hadn't thought so.
I never know when to take you seriously.
All the time.
Well, I never thought you'd leave here for the bright lights. It's here that Armageddon will be fought, not in the corridors of Westminster.
When the trumpet sounds, I'll return.
You'll probably find you're a moderate then.
That means I shall be very old.
It is purely a political decision, is it? No personal ambition.
Don't be sordid.
And Martha will hate it down there after a while. It's not her.
I know.
Well, then why?
It's called getting it out of your system.
Hello, Blake. How are you?
Back again, eh?
I must go make sure he takes his shoes off.
Herta can do that. I want to talk to you.
He dropped his scarf as we came up the garden. I will go and see.
I think he had it on as we passed the summer hut.
Well, I go and see.
Deutschland got you down at last, huh?
No, only the politicians in the East.
You going back?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Herta's going back with the boy. I'm staying here.
Oh.
I'll bet you've had a few laughs at me over the years.
Why should you say that?
Oh, all that drivel I used to talk when we were billeted together. What I was going to do when it was all over.
We all indulged in fantasies. They kept us going for 5 years.
Still a traitor to your class?
I don't see it like that, but yes, if that's how you see it.
I'm sorry. Who am I to talk? The only brave new world I ever wanted was one which suited me. I never saw it as 5 years we sacrificed for whatever it was we fought for. I saw it as a debt to be paid. I was waiting for the postman and he never came.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way.
We've got a card from Col.
Col?
Owen's Colin.
Oh, one forgets.
Oh, I don't. Oh, but then it was my brother. You've a good heart, he said. The day we were married. The day he killed himself. It'll last you a lifetime, he said.
Peg. Don't.
I used to say he died in that Jack POW camp, but he didn't. Came back to say that. Oh, but you do forget. I forget too sometimes, if I'm honest. And I shouldn't. When I remember, they live.
They shall not grow old as we that are left grow old.
I say that to myself too sometimes. Oh, well. I never expected to be this old myself. And here I am.
Thank God.
Do you?
When I remember, I do.
You know, I sometimes think we ought to get away from here.
You do? Where?
Oh, somewhere new. Far away. Like your father did.
You really would?
Well, not running away. Not that. There's nothing I'd want to run away from in any case.
America suit you?
You wouldn't, would you? Your father's there.
I'd rather like to get to know him. I never really have. Well, that'd be something positive, wouldn't it?
Is Dad still in the meeting?
No, he's on his way. But
Better get his pint in. What do you want?
Scotch and soda, please, love.
Love? Sounded like one of us then.
Why did they elect me to be their MP, George?
Well, they haven't upset you, have they? Oh, they weren't being critical. They were just asking questions they felt obliged to ask. I thought you'd have been used to them by now.
No, that's not why I asked, but I am not one of them, am I? So why?
I told you at the time, didn't I? You were a Warrington, won over. You were a woman, and they liked you.
I like the last bit best. You know, there'll come a time when they don't need middle-class people like me.
Labour's more than just a working-class party to me. If the middle class that joined us ever leave, I reckon we'll have failed.
Keir reckons it's a failure of the leadership that lost us the last election.
We needed another 5 years of austerity. Not much of a prospect when you've had 5 years of war and another 5 picking up the pieces. They kept telling us how to get there, but never where we were going. They couldn't paint that picture and make it real. Maybe they lost sight of it themselves.
Lost sight of what?
Jerusalem, the promised land.
You think I don't understand why you asked Herta to marry you? It was because of Emil.
I had to ask.
Are you still angry that I burnt the letters?
Herta understood why you did it. I didn't. I have a lot to learn.
So I'm forgiven?
My mother never hit me. All she ever said was, don't do it again. Something else she used to say. You usually find it where you least expect it.
Find what?
What you seek.